Cool. So Kev is already here.
Huh?
KB is already here. It's already recording.
I set it to automatically record.
Okay, interesting. So do live on custom live streaming service. So give me just a minute and I'll get it all set up. All right, so come here and have a seat. You're pretty much set to go. So,
Volume on? Mic on?
test. Yeah, you see the line going.
Muted, please. Morning, Kevin. Hey, boys.
Hey, how are you doing?
Good morning.
Good. Trying to close all this other stuff out here.
I'm sorry?
Just trying to get everything else closed out here.
Yes. So if you'll excuse me, I'm going to close out my mail and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, I had it on the other day and stuff kept popping up, and then I had the full screen and like, oh, whatever. So, all right.
All right. So the way I have this hooked today is whenever anybody's talking, it's on speaker mode.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking, you're going to be the focal, okay? Otherwise, it's going to be on gallery when we're listening, but primarily speaker mode. I can put it on gallery if you like, if you'd rather have everybody, being able to see each other for the entire time. I just think if I'm recording this, and if you guys want the recording, I think it's real important that we can segment at least the speaker portion out. What do you guys think?
It's your show. You do it however you
Yep.
want.
Thanks, Steve.
I agree. I'm right in it. I agree 100%.
I mean, I don't know how many of these I've done so far, and whoever's running it, just run it however you want to do it.
Yeah, I got you.
Because when I'm doing mine, usually Angie's on the other end, doing however it works best. So
Yeah.
So who all are we expecting?
It's going to be a few vendors. Then we have Gabe, you, Fabian, Brant, me, and AC Ramos.
Okay.
So I think it ought to be pretty interesting at any rate.
Several different opinions.
Yeah. Did you get a copy of the questions that I sent?
Got them right here in front of me.
Awesome. They're pretty basic.
Well, I mean, and at this point, I think all we can do is be very basic. We still don't know a lot of things.
That's exactly.
I mean, it's like I was talking the other day. I was doing a webinar, and I can give my opinion, but nobody in the administration's calling me up and asking me for it. So like I say,
Yeah.
I think everybody that's kind of doing the same thing. We're just waiting and seeing, and based on what we already know, trying to gear things the direction we think things are going to go. But
between us guys, all we're doing is trying to get as much money together as we can.
that's my biggest focus right now is money. That's when you ask that question, what's your number one focus right now? Yeah, money. 100%.
Well, I think there's, for the people that aren't used to this and haven't been doing it as much as we have, one of the things I'm gonna is, try and, well, more than money is just make it a little more simplistic for them is get prepared.
Well, and that's really it. Like I said, I think for us that have been around a long time, I think we have an idea of the direction things are going to go, but there's still too many things that could happen that could change that. So,
Hey, Gabe. Hey, Gabe.
there 1 minute, gone the next.
Yeah, and it's right. Nobody really has the answer yet.
No. Well, I mean, you say that, but there are a few out there that think they do.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you notice they aren't on the panel either.
Fortunately, none of them are on the panel.
How to make it interesting at any rate.
Oh, yeah.
I thought about Mr. Texas Radio.
Yeah. No, I'd have had to pass on that one.
Yep, I can.
We'll be able to see you better, Gabe, if you take your hand off the camera.
Let's see. What is the meeting address? Pull my email up. And you're supposed to be doing this. I don't know what the meeting app is.
What's up, fellas?
How we doing?
Gabe.
Hey, what's up, Gabe?
Who's all on here? Let me see.
So I can close out my mail.
Yeah.
Are you going live on this on your page or?
Yeah, yeah. We are recording it as well.
Okay.
Invite.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, I have no idea how to use this stuff. You know that. Hey, Steve.
What are the numbers?
Good morning, everybody.
50490 6327.
Morning, Steve.
Dun, dun.
Yes, everyone.
Yeah. You can hear me okay, can't you?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Better than yesterday.
Oh, man, we had a bad connection yesterday.
And click the button.
Yeah, and I forgot to click the one of the ads.
For you.
Hey, there, me, but nobody else.
Oh, well, good thing it's recording.
Yeah, we did get it. Now we just have to upload it.
Right, right. Do you remember, hey, Steve, Gabe, do y'all remember Brant's new little Ria's Wealth something or another?
Brant Phillips?
He had a new name for his little group.
I have no idea.
No idea. Okay. And Fabian's.
Hey, you coming online again?
What's that?
I have two now.
Yeah, I can see both of them.
Everybody got the 4 questions. Fill in some more if we need.
Yeah.
Well, real simple today, guys. We're going to do a little introduction. All the vendors are supposed to be here, and we'll give them up to 4 or 5 minutes to do their little spill. I want everybody, all of them, to promote, and then I'll do a little prologue into the panel, and we'll just take it away from there. I guess I'll call on people to talk, unless y'all you want to signal if you want to be next, or how do you want to do that?
I mean, if you totally want to be just the mediator, and I mean, that's totally
all
fine.
he's going to do.
And I think with as many people as there are, it might be best to maybe guide that a little bit. Otherwise, it can get just difficult for everybody to try and, if you got 4 people that want to answer the same question at the same time.
Yeah. I don't want anybody talking over everybody,
Right. I mean, that might be a good idea. I like I say, it's your show, so you just let me know what you want me to do.
Yeah, let me just go ahead and I'll say, okay, Steve, what's your opinion? Whatever, Gabe. And then if somebody has they want to add something to the conversation after they're finished, just raise your hand a little bit, and I'll call back.
Okay. Okay.
So, Gabe, I just hid your non-video participant in the waiting room. So, did that screw you up?
Evan, how are you this morning?
No, I can see better. I'm using my camera for my phone it has a better video. The other one, for some reason, my laptop's not doing well.
Gotcha.
And we're going to stream this on our website as well.
Okay. All right, I'm going to it'll be on YouTube.
On our
website.
Facebook page, excuse me.
Are you going live right now on any of the other channels, or?
We'll be on our Houston Buyers Club page.
All right.
We're not doing live on YouTube at this point. We're just going to be live on Facebook.
Yeah. Angie's all set up. She'll stream it. We were just texting back and forth, so she'll stream it out on ours as well.
Cool.
We'll hit a bigger audience.
Is six people the most I can ever see on the screen?
I have no idea.
Get 18.
No, I'm looking at six people right now. I'm looking at Gabe.
Because there's only 6 of us.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
I've seen other ones where there was a whole lot of people on the screen. So, I don't know how that works.
I've seen them all at the top, and then the one talking goes in the middle.
You can get You can get 16 people on a screen.
Okay.
Okay, that'd be fine, because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7 people at the most at one time. being showed.
So what happens is whoever's talking, Steve, they'll
Yes.
highlight around it and they'll pop up on the screen.
Correct.
So
That's the way
if your
I've
vendors are
always
coming
done it.
in, everyone will be able to see the vendors.
Okay.
Just like now. Gabe, say something.
Just pretty much like now.
Check 1, 2, check.
There you are.
Niner.
905 1763.
All right, let me.
I'm not going away. I'm just going to another screen to check something.
Well, I didn't know I had that ability. I can click on you guys and bring you up.
Everybody's learning Zoom. Whoa.
Well, we got everybody here for your live, guys.
Really?
Really? How about that? Amazing.
Fabian's looking for the link, and I guess Chris sent it to him.
Yeah, send it there. Hey, you guys finding any resistance on going to see houses?
No.
I haven't been any with people. So all of the ones I've been in are vacant. So no, I haven't seen any.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, we put 2 under contract yesterday.
Yeah, we have one that we have an old guy living in, and we're trying to right now, and he's a little resistant, which I kind of understand.
Yeah, I mean that's where you're going to see more resistance. I would think. It's just like the properties we've got listed to sell. We
Yeah.
keep advertising the crap out of it. These houses are vacant and they've been sanitized.
Right.
So, and we are getting showings. So we're, trying to negotiate on a couple of them right now. So.
Hey, Brent.
Hey guys, so I'm a
Hey,
little bit
Brad.
late.
Boy.
Morning. How's everybody doing?
Good. How about yourself?
Good.
Doing good, other than dealing with raccoon problems.
Yeah.
I got this picture a little while ago.
Oh no.
That's not a good picture.
The pictures are tomorrow, so I'm like, as long as the little fucker's out of there by tomorrow morning.
Right.
Morning, gentlemen.
Hey, Rob, how's it going?
Good. How are y'all?
Good.
What's up, bro?
Oh, living the dream. Living the dream.
Did you pop AC and Fabian? You have AC's deal. Here, you can DM on my phone. Just instant message.
There's AC. Hey, Rob.
Hey, good morning. Good morning.
Morning.
Hey, AC, you're gonna have to have a video on, or I can't, or you'll be stuck in the waiting room. AC's on.
Can't work your damn thing.
Why?
I can't get it to off the damn screen.
Everybody watch their Saturday morning cartoons.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I got a 3-year-old living with me. My granddaughter, too many cartoons.
Hey, dude. What's up?
Morning.
Hey, see. Good morning.
What's up?
How you doing? Oh, nice beer. Rob.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Fire, dude. Hey, how bad was the fire?
Oh man, the structure's still good. Smoking. All the windows. It was so. But I think we're gonna get like 100 on the insurance though, and I think it's gonna cost like 60 to redo.
Yeah.
I need 10,000 cash money, AC. Hey, see, I didn't have a chance to respond, but I saw that the other day. I had, going back like 10 years ago, we had a property, my partner didn't pay the insurance. We got a letter in the mail saying the property wasn't insured. The next night, like, I can't make this up, the next night, I got a phone call like 2 or 3 in the morning. It was vacant, we had a for lease sign out front. And somebody called and said, dude, your house on fire, your house on fire. I'm like, what house? And he told me the street. I'm like, oh, really? Set up like middle of the night like that. Turns out it was a prank caller. So that's why I told you, like, dude, you got to turn your phone off. I have, like, I'm turning my phone off at 10 o'clock. If the house could burn down, I'll find out in the morning.
That's pretty good. It's successful. You know, yeah, it was crazy. I mean, I was more concerned about the tenant because she's pregnant. One of the tenants was in the garage. They had a little area in the garage set up to smoke, like a little smoke lounge. I guess they can't smoke in the garage and smoke since the other one was pregnant. They were smoking inside. I mean, not smoking anyway, but usually, I'm pretty sure they all the time.
Yeah. Hey guys, I'm here.
Hey, baby.
So is this live or not?
It will be live on Facebook, yeah, at hbcreia.com. Sorry, Facebook, /hbcreia.
I sent y'all an email. I didn't look at the time. It was my wife. We got to go pick up our kids at noon, so we have a meeting on Friday night. So.
I don't anticipate going much past what you're talking about, so.
Gotcha.
You need to cut out. But I think we'll be wrapping about that time anyway.
Okay.
Depends how long-winded everybody is.
I think we have everybody here.
Everybody except for Derek and Natalie.
You know what? If they miss the show, they miss the show. It's time to go.
I don't have Natalie's phone number. I just texted Derek. Talked last night. Okay.
All right, look, so Chris, you want to show me what to do again? Wait a minute, there we are. I'm on Facebook.
To go live, you just click that.
Hey,
I don't see the live thing.
did you get what I sent you last night?
Well, it's because I'm not live yet.
Oh,
I
Hey, see.
press the live button now.
Did you get what I sent you last night?
Yes, I got it this morning. I was just going over that.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. We
Yes,
actually
sir.
might have a buyer for it, so it might save my ass on that anyway.
Shit, I'd buy it.
Shit.
Some bitch is nice.
I'll give you a discount.
I bet you would.
All right, so I'm gonna go live
friendly
in
discount.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good morning, everyone. This is Stephen Russell with Hbcreia. This is our
Hold
event
on,
meeting.
Steve. Hold on, Steve.
Good morning.
Thanks for forward to catch up.
Well, tell me when. Don't go one and leave me hanging.
You're on, Steve.
Good morning, everyone. This is Stephen Russell with Houston Buyers Club RIA. We really appreciate y'all coming in this morning, Saturday morning. Grab a cup of coffee, get you a donut, sit down, and we've got a meeting I think you're going to really enjoy. Stephen Russell, Richard, and Chris, sponsoring this for the Houston Buyers Club. And I want to welcome everybody to our new world of meetings and conferences. Everybody is doing virtual meetings and internet meetings, and I find it kind of exciting. You know, the last month, I've finally seen more presentations by a lot of our investors and friends that I've seen in a long time, and good information, good opinions. Everybody's got things to say, and kind of like networking, but it's not. But it's real exciting to have this type of technology available. It keeps us, our world intact, and it keeps us at least on the track of knowing what's happening, at least opinions of what's happening. And really appreciate everybody, especially our group here, and the people we've done for broadcasting and and recording and letting us watch it at our convenience. You know, today we're really real proud to bring 6 very successful investors onto a panel today. The discussions on, you know, how the coronavirus will affect real estate market. We're going to talk about 3 or 4 different subjects. We've got a chat box, and if you would like to ask some questions, be sure to ask them, and our Chris will help us moderate some of the questions. If not, we'll definitely try to answer things as we go along. And all of the panelists, we're going to be calling one-on-one as we ask the question. If the panelists would like to interrupt or have a question into it, just raise your hand and I'll go ahead and moderate it in when there's a break in it. This morning on the panelists, we've got Brent Phillips, Gabriel Duarte, Steve Vigil, A.C. Ramos, Fabian Toledo, and Rick Russell. All of y'all know most of us. If you don't, you should. We've got definitely 6 very informative, successful investors. Gosh, I've known most of y'all for at least 10 years or sometimes.
What are you saying? We're old, brother?
We're old, yeah, we're old. But hey, we're experienced. What can I say? You know, we sit back and some of us went through 2008 together, and we're looking at a totally different type of situation today than we did back then. But the thing is we still have a lot of challenges that we're going to be looking forward to. And I think everybody getting together and having these groups really makes the difference on it. But so the main thing is, like I say, we've got a couple of real good topics we want to go over. And before I start, we've got 4 vendors supposed to have been showing up. Looks like 2 of them got up early enough to participate. So y'all get a bigger stage. So I'm gonna start, nothing in order. I'm gonna start with Rob Trigg with Jet Lending. Rob, I'd like you to talk a little bit about your company. Mainly, if y'all, I know Eddie and everybody in your group have been looking at things of what to do now, what's happening. I kind of go into that a little bit of what programs y'all are thinking about that's going to help the investor today. Great, you got the floor, Rob.
Thank y'all for having us this morning. Sorry I had to unmute. Really appreciate it. I tell you what, this COVID-19 kind of took everybody for surprise, but Jet Lending with the awesome staff and Eddie's expertise and Johnny and Alex, I tell you what, we were ready for it. To be able to go virtual and work from any place and close loans, it's been nonstop. And people have reached out to us like they haven't before. You know, we're still going strong on a daily basis and still closing loans. I don't think anything's changed in that aspect. We're tightening down the hatches a little bit on how we underwrite just during this time to make sure that we're protecting not only the client, but to make sure that they're also getting into a deal that makes sense for them. In these times that are, you know, uncertain, we want to make sure that they don't put themselves into a bind that's not going to benefit them long term. So we're still doing our fix and flip, buy, fix, and holds. As everybody knows, non-QM money is kind of tightened up a little bit, but we're starting to see that it might come back sooner than expected. You know, we're just waiting out for that. But, you know, Jet Lending is always out there to evaluate any of your clients at Houston Buyers Club. And we'd be more than happy to make sure that you're getting in a deal that makes sense for you.
Well, I know I've noticed that I've seen some advertisement y'all on some of your houses and stuff. Are y'all still gathering up houses for clients to look at also?
We are typically I get clients that want and a lot of people don't know this. We get clients that want us to blast their properties for them, and we charge a fee for that just to get it out to our buyers list. It's a nominal fee. Typically, it's 25% of the assignment fee if and only if we bring a buyer to the table. So anybody out there that's wholesaling or needs, us to, evaluate that property and get it blasted out to our mass buyer list, we'll be more than happy to do that for y'all as well. Eddie is still buying properties, in his alternate business that he has, and it's slowed down a little bit, but I don't think it's slowed down as much as everybody thought it would. So.
Let me ask you, a while back before all the pandemic came around, y'all were looking at doing some financing in commercial, and we're starting to see some possible investment opportunities in commercial. Are y'all working on programs? Are y'all still looking at that?
We definitely have commercial for small commercial flips that we can work with. Like any deal, we'll evaluate it, make sure it makes sense for us and for you. When I say small commercial, I say anything under $1 million.
Awesome. Well, we've used Jet Lending through Russ Corp and Houston Buyers Club. We definitely have had a pleasure working with y'all, and y'all always been good, fair, and fast. Fast is a big part of it, and
yes.
Help evaluate our properties. So we appreciate you being here today, and continued success, and we'll definitely be there for you, and you'll be there for us, and we appreciate that.
Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all's time this morning, gentlemen, and I hope y'all have a good day.
Well, good. You can hang in there or go do something else. It's your choice.
I'll hang for a little bit.
Okay. Next, I'd like to introduce Kevin Barnes. Kevin Barnes of the network, another vendor that we've worked with for, 10 years, maybe. Long time.
Yeah. Long time.
But Kevin's how long have you been with Net Worth now?
Since before it was Net Worth, so back since September of 2003.
Well, Kevin, give them a little rundown of Net Worth for the people that don't know you, mainly what you can do to help investors out there in today's market, and kind of give us an idea, because you're on the wholesale side. This is where a lot of our investors have to get our houses, because they just don't have the marketing capability to go out and do it themselves. And y'all bring quality houses to the market. But what's happening? What are you seeing in your world that's going to help the investor?
Okay. Good morning. My name's Kevin Barnes. I'm with Net Worth Realty. We are the largest wholesaler in the state of Texas. We've got offices in all the major metro areas. We got 3. So what we do is we bring deals to investors that would either be buying wholes or fix and flips. We don't charge any membership fees. We basically just allow the investors to grow at the rate that they want to. One of the other things that we do, or that I do personally, is if there has a deal that they are mulling over, I'll give them an honest opinion on it. There's no pressure to buy anything from us. We don't force you to use any specific lender. We just want to make sure that the buyer that we bring a deal to has the capability to close. That's really it. We've shifted the way that we do things in this current environment. So we're not doing any mass showings. We're not getting groups of 20 investors and running them through houses. We're not doing those things. We're making sure that the sellers are safe and that our investors are safe. We've actually shifted to doing some virtual showings, which are working well. And the title companies are actually cooperating too in terms of how they do things. They're not having 50 people sitting in their lobbies. So we're trying to make sure that our investors, the ones that feel safe moving forward now, can buy stuff. And there are a lot of guys that are strategically positioned to take advantage of this time. Kind of reminds me of what we went through a little bit in 2008, although this is not lender driven like it was back then. This is more of a market condition. So again, we're still moving, at the pace the investors want. We got plenty of deals now, and we'll be ready once this thing moves past us.
Well, Leonard, y'all have also gone into commercial because you've sent us some commercial properties. Are you seeing any slowdown in either the finding houses or the commercial, or what opportunities are you seeing out there for the investors?
I'm still seeing commercial. I mean, the good thing about what's happened now is, and I'm speaking self, it's a limit some of the competition, not the local guys, but some of the competition from guys that were from other markets and some of the big, you guys know what I'm talking about, some of the bigger people that were in the marketplace that here 6 months ago and that we couldn't compete with. I don't know how those guys were making, but it's gone back to, friendly local competition. The commercial stuff is still there. People are doing a lot of buying holes right now. And the only thing I've noticed on me personally is the high-end flips are not as appetizing to some investors as they were maybe 6 months ago.
Yeah, a little riskier.
Yeah, they
we
are.
backed off one just recently. 4 or 5 months ago, we'd have jumped all over it. Just too long, too much money, too long to hold. And a lot of our investor friends don't want to put their money out that long. That's okay. There's a good market. We know that 250 area, 200,
yeah,
maybe a little higher. It's such a sweet market. And if
yeah,
there's houses available in that area, we're all going to do well. Are you looking?
tough to qualify days on market.
Many leads coming in? Kevin, you seeing many leads coming in on your end?
I'll be honest with you. I'm probably getting 80% of the leads I was getting 2 months ago. So it slowed down a little, but not tremendously.
Because I read an article
we
yesterday.
So.
Sorry. Go ahead, Kevin.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Now, I read an article yesterday that the big guys like Zillow and a lot of the Redfin, all those type of people are backing off the market. So that's a good thing for us.
We can't hear you.
Are you there, Kevin? Well, hear me, it froze up. Kevin, we appreciate it. Again, you can definitely hang around and listen, and we appreciate having you. I know y'all do a great job. Your evaluations are good. Your numbers are pretty accurate on the things we do, and we've been very fortunate to use you for a long time, so we appreciate you. Kind of go into a little bit of what we're here today for is for the panel. And I just want to kind of do just a little lead in because I'm trying to be as positive as we can in today's market. And there's a lot of things out there that are definitely not fun or let's put it this way, not appetite for the economy. As we know, we're probably in one of the very unprecedented global pandemic. COVID-19 crept up on us. Some of us heard about it, but I don't think any impression hit us until March, when all of a sudden the U.S. outbreaks started happening. And almost every nation on the earth, it's not just U.S., it's every country in the world. It's pretty much stopped everybody on their tracks as far as the economy goes and socialization and everything else. Something I've never seen ever, and probably hopefully we'll never see. Again, it's unprecedented. More people have died from COVID-19 in the United States than Italy or China. Despite being locked down as we are, we just got a very large population. And as you know, there's no current vaccine now, so we're looking at some progress in treatment, which is very, very positive. We're looking at a lot of aggressive medical personnel and admire all the upfront people, the frontline people, because they're doing some jobs that, golly, they risk their life every day out there. But the thing we're looking at is this virus is as much as you can say positive or negative, because I've heard a lot of arguments. It's no worse than the flu. It's no worse than car accidents. The thing that people have got to remember is it's probably one of the most contagious viruses we've ever run across. Unexpected because we don't have a good knowledge if you have it until you after the symptoms start, and it affects very heavily and very fast on a large population of the market. first they talked about older people and people that have underlying health issues. I understand that. That's almost any type of flu does that. But we're seeing it all across the board. It doesn't matter if you're rich, doesn't matter if you're poor, doesn't matter if you're what color you are, what race you are, where you live, where you're at. It's across kids, everything else. So it is affecting, and it's very aggressive and very fast. So no matter what we think on a personal level, probably a wise choice the way the government's gone as far as shutting down everything. The golly, that shutting down has really, really, really affected our economy, as you well know. As today, we have 706,830 cases reported in the United States, 37,086 deaths. We don't know if we're peaked, but we're plateauing in certain areas. How many weeks it'll take to get to a level where the states start opening up everything? But I think we're going to start seeing that happening a little more after next week or two. Hopefully, it's at a point it's not premature, but we will definitely be facing an economy that we've never seen before. It's not like 2008, where the financial and the real estate market and the submarkets collapsed the economy. This is mainly because we don't work, we don't have people out there, we don't have people spending money because of what we've had to do because of this virus. You know, they're saying this is one of the things the economic times has stopped and financial time keeps on going. Because, you know, we have to stop working, but your bills come in, your mortgages are due, all these things are due. So it's causing a lot of stress for everybody. It's going to affect us. Hopefully we'll get over the apex of the virus real soon, but the economy is going to take a while to get back in shape. Hopefully we can do it fast. We're a strong country, strong nation. We're all entrepreneurs. We know what it takes to fight. If the rest of the country does that and fights hard, I think we're going to be very successful and come out real good. And again, with real estate investing, every bad time gives us a lot of opportunities. Sad, but it is a true thing. But we're looking at some questions that we need to look at as investors. And I think one of the big things we'll look at is where are we going? Where are we now in an investment world in real estate? What are you doing as investors? What are you doing helping with your students and your all of our friends? What kind of advice would you give them? And mainly, where do we go from here, guys? So the first thing I want to talk about, since the economy seems to be affected very much, is everybody's talking about a recession. Are we in one? Are we going into one? Now, we know that affects our business very, very, very good and bad. It's bad to have a recession, but it can definitely affect our business and be opportunities. So I want to kind of take a little bit of time to ask the question: is a recession imminent, guys? And so I'm going to kind of start off. What I'm going to do is just ask somebody to start, and when you finish, I'll get the next panelist, and we're not talking over each other. If you have a question or need something, just raise your hand like that. We'll get back to you. Brant, I'm going to start with you. Brant, before we start, give them a little idea of who you are, and what you do. But the main thing I want you to focus on is a recession imminent.
Yeah, sure. My name is Brant Phillips. Primarily a residential real estate investor for the last 13, almost 14 years now. Done a few hundred deals, rentals, done tons of flips, owner finance. Recently bought a mobile home park and an RV park last year, and I'm really excited about those asset classes and looking for more parks. So if you find any mobile home park deals, send them my way. Yeah, Stephen, in terms of is there a recession coming? I'm not like a big financial guy. I'm not an economist, but I read a lot and I watch a lot. And one thing I never do is I never make predictions what the economy is going to do, what the market's going to do, because the honest to God's truth, we really don't know. Everything that I'm reading in the financial markets, to be quite honest, it's really, really bad. I don't see, honestly, and I'm not trying to be negative, but with this long of a layoff and this long of a shutdown, the compound effect of all of the economy stopping and all these small businesses, just overall, I don't see how we come back anytime soon. I know that some people are talking about this V-shaped comeback. I don't see how that's possible. Now, I know that in the day and age that we live in, which is, free love and free money, government's just printing out money. That's why I think a lot of the rules of economics in the past, how a recession is a good thing, right? Like, it can be a good because it means like, hey, we've got to clean up some issues. We've got some problems to solve. A company going bankrupt means that their business plan wasn't working. It's okay. You restructure, you organize, you make improvements. But the government doesn't allow that to happen these days. So since 2008, I remember, whenever, won't get too political here, but all the Republicans are saying, oh God, the Democrats are going to run the company because they're printing billions of dollars. Well, we're printing trillions of dollars now, the Republicans are. And the thing is, I think that there is a law of diminishing returns. So even though we're printing trillions, it has less of an effect on the market. So my answer is, I don't know. I will tell you what I'm doing, though. I will tell you what I'm doing. We're preparing for the worst. We're preparing for the worst and ready to take advantage of the opportunity. So I'm in the process of selling everything that I have above 300,000. I had some stuff that we're holding on to. We're selling that stuff as we speak. I was sharing with the guys, we're getting ready to sell one right now. And I've got a raccoon stuck up in the event. I got a picture from this morning. I'm like, geez, life of a real estate investor, you get pictures like this on a Saturday morning with a raccoon. If anybody knows someone who can help with this, I'm getting text messages right now. Because I told my guys, I'm like, get a freaking stick and shove it up his butt, push it out. And they're texting me like, it's not working. I'm like, tell my wife, call animal control. But we're selling all that stuff, and we're really gravitating to 200,000 and below. We're looking for the mobile home parks. We're looking for your $150,000 houses, and really gravitating to that affordable housing sweet spot, because it's safe in any market. And that's been my kind of, 80% of my business overall, which has kept me very sustainable in the ups and downs markets. But I'm gravitating more, and I'm not going to touch anything that's even above. And I don't say anything if there's just some incredible deals, but we're really storing up cash, selling some inventory, and getting ready in the event that real estate goes on sale. Because I guess they could prop it up and it not, be the buying opportunity some of us hope for. But in case it is, that's what we're planning on. I don't do a lot of commercials, so I don't, that market scares the heck out of me. I did buy my first commercial property about a month ago. So how's timing for that? But it's like a $250,000 long-term tenant property. But that's what we're doing, really gravitating towards affordable housing and making sure we're sustainable no matter what the market does.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. Steve V. Hill, you're up next.
Yeah, I agree a lot with what Brandt's saying. Jobs are going to be an issue because there's been so many people that have been taken out of work. So from that side, jobs coming back, yeah, it's going to be a process. It's not going to happen overnight. At the same time, if we look at things like the stock market, a lot of people have expected the stock market to crash, and it was up another 700 points yesterday, so closed out at 24,000. So we really haven't seen the markets affect like a lot of people thought that we would see. So but there's so many varying factors still going on that we don't have any idea about. They're talking about starting to open up parts of the country. The governor did a press conference yesterday talking about starting to open up Texas. And, I think all these things are going to help, but, how fast things come back online it's anybody's guess at this point because we're still not quite there. We're doing a lot of preparation ourselves. We've always stayed in the very affordable housing market. Sometimes we get over the $300,000 mark, but for the most part, for probably the past 3 years, we've stayed in that, 250,000 and lower market, which we just really preferred that. We like it. We've done very well in it, and we're preparing for that even more going into this now. We're lining up money. I actually put 2 under contract yesterday for very, very low dollar amounts, and that's where I think we need to go. And we'll see what level of recession we're going to have. I mean, I think we're obviously, the economy has been affected. There's no doubt about it. But with, the government giving a lot of incentives, the unemployment has been phenomenal. We've got a lot of rental properties and tenants have paid. We had no issues in April. We're starting to talk to tenants and get prepared for May, and so far we're not seeing any issues in May. Something could happen, it could change, but I think with those incentives, and there's still a lot of people hiring. All the grocery chains, all the major stores are still hiring, so there are jobs out there, even if they're temporary jobs, and they're paying pretty darn good. So how all of that's going to affect us in the end, I don't know. Hopefully it helps us get through certain things. I'm hoping there's going to be opportunities to buy. As we come back online, I think things that we need to look at, maybe oil and gas has been hit very hard. That's going to be a sector that's take a while to certainly come back. So could we see opportunity because of that? That could be an area we see opportunity as we go forward and maybe find some deals. But, my crystal ball is broken. And that's about what I
Have one, huh?
So that's pretty much how I feel about it.
Gabe, introduce yourself real quick and same question.
Yeah. Hey guys, what's up? So Gabe, Vertical House Buyers. We do a ton of real estate on the residential side. Kind of like some of the other guys here, we stay really on the low key end, affordable housing end. We do some upper end on the flips, and we also run a networking group called the North Houston Real Estate Investors. And so we do a lot of stuff in North Houston, Montgomery County, some.
Unmute yourself.
So I'm pretty positive on my outlook on most of the stuff because I think you have to be. And I don't want to discredit anything that's really happened and be the Chicken Little guy either. So and it's a tough thing. I think for all of us, whoever we talk to, it's you kind of have to check the water, say, hey, how are you doing first? See what their feedback is, and then kind of move in that direction, because we don't know if somebody in their family has been sick, they're going through some financial issues, whatever it might be. I mean, there's a ton of things going on right now that's way different than anything we've ever done before, because we have to take into consideration that people weren't dying in 2008 from the crash, right? The banks weren't going on, weren't doing anything like that. 2001, people weren't dying because of what was happening. This is specifically because people are getting sick, and it's dangerous, and they're dying. That's a big issue, and it messes with people's thoughts and their minds, definitely all of ours also. So I think that leading factor, and again, I don't predict the future that much, but from what I've been seeing, it looks like it's going to be more of a W-shape comeback, where it comes up a little bit and we see some correction, and then it comes back down a little bit. And then I think we're going to keep on doing that for a while until we all get an idea, until the market gets an idea of what's going to happen. The coolest thing that I've heard, and I heard this yesterday, we're at a closing, and one of the guys there, we were talking about this podcast we're listening to. And there's a buyer's market, and then there's a seller's market, and then there's a professional's market. And right now, real estate investing and real estate in general, we're dealing with the professionals market. You know, we're not dealing with buyers a lot. We're not dealing with sellers a lot. You want to be talking to people that are the professionals. And that's why we're seeing some of the wholesalers that were around that didn't have their feet stable yet, or didn't have a good foundation, even with investment companies that were just getting involved and trying to figure out how to make all this stuff work. We've been running into the thing where they'll come with us and I'll say, look, we have a good foundation. We can just help you grow through this. Don't overstretch yourself though. So I think it's pretty profound for us in our company of realizing this is an opportunity for those who have good foundation, a good business model, good morally, ethically. Like, we care for the people that we're working with. AC was saying, you know, he had some tenants that had some stuff that he's really caring for the tenants. The house is an issue, but what about the tenants? What about the people? And so that's where we need to be really pushing forward, is realizing that we got to humanize what we're doing. I think this is the coolest thing for people who do good business. And the reason why is it's taking the greed of how people see business and it's humanizing it. You know, it's taking the person who looks at a real estate investor and says, hey, you're just trying to find a good deal. And now if you don't have good relational skills, if you don't have skills to really care about the process, you're not going to be in business as long, because people are not going to want to do business with you over this transition, because you have to be very sensitive to what's happening in their lives, how to navigate that, how to help them. And then also with some of the other investment stuff that we're doing. So we're getting into doing like mobile home parks, RV parks, stuff like that. And we have to be sensitive to what's going on there, because that's a wider range of people we're dealing with. And now we have to go and pinpoint, okay, how is that person? So even with our tenants, and I think everybody here went through the list of your tenants of saying, how are they doing? How is their family? Good. How is their job position? Can we help them in any way? So we've had everyone pay up so far, but there has been some tenants that are like, hey, I might need some help in the coming if this keeps up. And so I'm sending them, you know, unemployment things. I'm sending them extra things to help them move forward, and looking at some of their skill sets, because I don't want to see people crash and burn out of this thing. As far as the business side though, Steve, I think this is a really good opportunity for people to, kind of like Brant said, tighten the belt, pull out any extra expenses that you had. When people are in a good time and we're doing well, which we literally just came out of that. We have a misunderstanding of how we spend our funds and how we spend our money, and that this will go on for forever. So I think this is an opportunity for you to tighten your belt, all right, and really niche down on your business, figure out what you're good at. If you got to pivot, cool, pivot. But if you got to raise money somehow, some way, if you got to go to the bank and get some extra cash, and we don't know if this is going to last another 30 days to 60 days of it really taking a beating, then go grab that money. You know, you really have to think far down the line of saying, if it lasts longer than 15 days or 30 days or 60 days, what does this mean? And so what we've seen from before is that if they weren't prepared, they were out of business, right? And so that's kind of the deal. If they didn't have any extra cash or any extra places, so I think we're going to come out of this place seeing that either some of these companies are not going to be around, like restaurants and stuff, or we're going to see people come out with a lot more debt and debt heavy, but they're able to sustain through. If they didn't have that cash, they're able to push through, but they might have a little bit more debt coming out of this thing when it's all done, or whenever they're back in operation 100%.
Appreciate it. AC Ramos, you're very active. I'd like to introduce yourself real quick, and same question. Are we in a recession, heading for a recession? What's your opinion?
Hi guys, my name is AC Ramos, real estate Jedi. No, I do think obviously we're touching on a recession. We're maybe in the beginning parts now. Is it going to be long-lived? I don't see this being a long-lived thing, because the virus will come and go, right? We're going to figure out what's going on with the virus. The other issues are, the oil market, I think, is more of an impact, for us, especially in Houston. But that being said, being in Houston, we're in one of the best markets probably the best market in the United States, so I think it's going to be a little bit different for us. I have seen leads slow down a little bit as far as new leads, but I've seen motivation coming up from, of course, I haven't been like amping up my marketing yet. I'm about to. But I have seen motivation from sellers that we were talking to a month ago and 2 months ago and 3 months ago, that now their motivation has changed. And some are willing, that they were looking for 130 2 months ago. They're looking for, they're willing to take 80 now. And I have had to renegotiate some of our wholesale deals. So I'm seeing that the buyers are still buying. Buyers are still active, some of them. Now, a lot of them are scared, you know, because a lot of cash buyers, a lot of our, well, not necessarily cash buyers, a lot of our buyers use hard money. They use some kind of other funds like private lenders and stuff like that. So they're not using their actual deployable cash, right? So the ones that were buying with other people's money, whether it be hard money, whether it be financing, whether it be private money, those buyers are fading out right now, I think. Because one, they're scared because they're leveraging other people's money, and the people that were lending them the money are phasing out. Like Jet Lending, you had Rob on here. They're one of the only lenders that is actually still workable in the market right now. Like I've seen a lot of other hard money lenders up their prices, not because they're trying to gouge anybody, but they're concerned about their investment, right? So that's what I'm seeing as far as people leveraging other people's money. The buyers that have their own deployable cash, the ones that come out of the woodworks whenever something like this happens, those are the buyers that are still active, and they're looking for deals. They're looking for about, like, I mean, Steve's a cash buyer. Now, he does use other people's money and stuff like that, but he'll tell you straight up, he's looking for better deals right now. He wants to get a discount on it if he's going to put himself out on the line. And that's what I'm seeing with the buyers that are active. Now, the thing that got me through 2008, 2007, 2008, 2009 was, and this is not similar in the fact that was a recession, that was a real estate-based bubble bursting, right? Or shifting, or whatever you want to call it. This is a pandemic and oil problem, and it just happens to be at the same time, right? Now, I think they're gonna get that fixed, but the buyers, I think, for a wholesaling business. Now, I buy and hold. We fix and flip. We do new construction. We do a little bit of everything. But as far as for the wholesale side and selling to cash buyers, I'm dropping a 15,000 person cash buyer campaign right now, because if I drop 15,000, like I'm gonna call them, text them, voicemail them, direct mail them. I'm going hard looking for more active buyers, because the way I look at it is the more active buyers you have, like my list is, we have a huge list, but a lot of those buyers are fading out, right? Like I said, so I want people. I pulled a list, and I'm looking for people who are bought houses in the past year. So I narrowed it down to like 15,000 people that bought more than 3 houses. And I'm going to hit it hard looking for maybe that 1%, 2%, 3% of those people that do have the deployable cash right now still, that I can add to my list or put them, make them VIPs right now. So I see that as being the shift as far as the wholesale market. Recession, yes, I definitely think we're in something. You know what I mean? Whatever you want to call it, I think we're dipping our toe in a recession. Now, are we going to go and be able to get out of it real quick? Maybe. You know what I mean? I don't see this being a long-term thing. Like I said, in about a year, I see the stock market and everything being level and being back to where it was, and oil hopefully straightening out. But it's going to take a year and a half. Now, with that being said, imagine the reason the motivation is going up from sellers is, imagine you took a hit on your stock market or your stock portfolio, right? And you lost your job. So now you saw your wealth come down. Now you only lose if you sold. So hopefully nobody sold and they just hung on to stuff. And it's already starting to come back a little bit and moving around, but it's still uncertain, right? But if we wait a year and a half, that should be back to normal, right? I think in 08, 09, I think it took a year and a half to come back, right? So same thing. I don't see it being a long 3, 4, 5 year thing. I don't see a depression, right? I don't see that coming, but I'm not Nostradamus either. So, but I don't see it being a long term. I see it like that. Now, as far as the motivation of the sellers, they lost, maybe they took a hit in the stock market and they lost their income. Now, those landlords that were accidental landlords that got a house through a divorce or inherited a house or something like that, and maybe they weren't the best managers of those properties, those are going to be the motivated sellers right now because they're not used to managing. You know what I mean? And maybe they had a tenant that they weren't cash flowing a lot of money on the property or something, and sometimes the tenant was late or whatever the case may be, and now, and they had a job and they had, you know, they looked at their stocks and they're like, okay, I got my wealth, and they were okay. Now they're like, oh man, I don't have my wealth. These people aren't paying me on time. I wasn't making a lot of money anyway, and now I don't even have a job to sustain myself. So I think that's why the motivation in the sellers is going to go up. So I do anticipate being able to pick up more deals now, and I'm ready in my team for that. We're putting together campaigns to follow-up campaigns for our database, because we have thousands and thousands of leads in our database from years of marketing, right? And I think that's going to pay off for us, and we're going to be able to squeeze a lot out of that. And we're going to hit new marketing to start trying to drum up more leads. But it does no good if you don't have those buyers ready to go. And if you're counting on the same buyers that were there before, the fix and flippers, I don't think you're going to be able to move your properties to them, and not for as much. And we've actually had to go back and we are going back and renegotiating contracts. We had one property, we had a buyer at 135 ready to pull the trigger. Lockdown happened that week. They like, hang on, I don't know. They got scared. They're willing to pay 125. We have the contract, or we had the contract at 125. So we were going to make a $10,000 assignment. Now they're willing to pay what we got it for. We're going back and renegotiating that contract. We're trying to get it for 100, but I think we're going to get it for anywhere from 100 to 110. So we'll still make 15. We may make more. You know what I mean? We may end up making more money on that deal, but we have to go back and renegotiate because there's another buyer who's willing and able to pull that trigger, but they want more of a discount, right? So that's what I'm seeing in the market right there. I do think we're dipping our toe in a recession, just because, like, I mean, it's something. I don't know what you want to call it, but I mean, it smells like a recession. You know what I mean? Like, and hopefully it's not going to last long, and we'll get out of it. And like I said, bounce back. But there's something going on, and I would think we're touching our toe in it, and we have to be prepared for that. You know, luckily we on our buy and holds, we're picking up a 4-house package right now. We only have like 11 doors right now, but we're adding a 4-house package. We're looking at another 7-house and 13-house package of duplexes and stuff like that. So our price per unit, price per door is really good. And even the single family houses we're looking at, like we're looking at one in Sharpstown right now that we were going to wholesale. The buyer's falling out of that one too. And we're like, man, it's a really good deal, especially for the price. We were going to make like $20,000 on the assignment. So if we buy it at our acquisition person, we'll be in it at a great price. And it's a $220 house, but we got it for like $130. You know what I mean? So if we pay, you know, our commissions to our acquisition team or whatever, we could still be in at 135, you know, and closing costs and everything, and the house doesn't need much work. So that under $175,000, $200,000 and rent, you know, that you gotta look at what you're buying a little bit more carefully. We've never been into the big higher end market, except for we have a $750,000 new construction that just hit the market like literally last week in the middle of all the virus. And I'm really, you know, my concern there is, am I going to have to refi that and hang on to it for a year and rent it? But the traffic has actually been better than I expected. We had 4 showings last week or in this past week, and we have some interest on it, you know, so, you know, please God, let that one sell, you know. But I, you know, that's probably the scariest thing I have right now. And even with that, you know, I might have to readjust my attack plan, right? I might have to refi it or talk to my private money lender and say, hey, work with me. Let's get out of this together. Nobody wants to deal with this, you know what I mean? But we may have to regroup and change our game plan on that one. But most of our properties are 175, maybe 200. Ours are all 175 and below. and our multifamilies are 7. That's what I'm seeing. I mean, that there's a market that's going to be active with cash buyers. There's going to be opportunity. But as you know, good if you're still marketing for sellers, but you don't have any buyers to take advantage of the deals that are willing to pull the trigger and pay.
Good perspective. I appreciate that. Fabian Toledo, you deal with a little different market than some of us, but you're very aggressive, very active. Tell us a little about yourself and what your impression is.
Well, my name is Fabian Toledo, or Fabian Toledo in English for everybody. I'm in the Houston market, of course. I have an organization called Latinos in Real Estate where we teach people how to invest in real estate in Spanish. I mainly do buying and holding, so being a landlord, a little bit of wholesale, a little bit of rehab. The answer to the question, in my opinion, yes, I think we were already heading to a recession, and this is just going to make it a little worse. I don't think it's going to be as bad for real estate since this is not a real estate recession, but it's going to, of course, affect the real estate. How much? I don't know. We don't have the crystal ball for that. I was already slowing down in the last 6 months to a year. I was already like selling houses that I knew were going to be a problem, like a house with a pool or a condominium. Those are the first ones to go down in a recession. And as I see the recession, I think it's going to last a little longer just because we don't have the resources now to like make it better. Like we already have interest rates low. We already have a tax reform. The government is already broke compared to 2008. We were not that bad before that. So I think it's going to take a little longer. So I'm preparing for that. I'm selling what I can right now as well. And refinancing the properties with integrity mortgage. What else? I think some people will sell quick, but the majority will wait because for the most part, real estate is it's like 6 months behind in the effect. So that's why I'm selling. I can still sell properties with the value of today or even before coronavirus because of the comparables. But if I wait 6 months, I think we're going to have, a little more issues to be able to sell properties at top market. So that's why I want to sell now for the money, take a little break, not a little break on buying at least, and have a little more structure to come back in the market and be able to buy those good deals. Renters are going to be struggling to pay the rent. It was not as bad for me as I thought, not as good as I wanted to be, but but I think next month is gonna be critical. I hope that the help gets to everyone really fast. I don't know many people who got the government assistance from the PPP loans or the EIDL loan. I think most of the people who got that money are big companies, not the little guys like us. But I hope the other $1,200 for everyone gets quick to everyone, so people can pay their rents and I can pay my mortgage as well. So yes, I see a recession coming for sure.
Rick Russell with Russ Corp. Last but not least, we've been talking about a lot about this. So, what's your opinion on are we in a recession or not?
I guess we have to kind of look at it this way. What is a recession first? A recession, is defined as 2 quarters with the gross domestic product being reduced. So are we in a recession? Well, not yet. I mean, not functionally. The first quarter, we had about a 5% drop in GDP. This quarter, it's anticipated just because of the last 3 weeks of what's been going on that we most definitely will be in one. However, we won't know until those figures come out sometime later in the year. But the probability is that, Yeah, I mean, I think we probably will be. Maybe we are now. We just don't know exactly. Every economist that I've been reading about, every investment bank that you're reading, their little prospectus is coming out. They're really thinking global recession, and I think that's where the differentiation is it's not just a U.S. recession. It's a recession around the world. This pandemic didn't hit just the United States. It hit everyone on the globe, and that's where the problem is. It's not, can America jump back and get back? Yeah, I think America. This is land of opportunity, guys. This is why most of our parents, grandparents, and great grandparents got here. We had an opportunity. There's a lot of things we can do here. If you can't do it in the U.S., you can't do it anywhere, right? Well, look, I think the issues are we have to worry about what's going on in China. We have to worry about what's going on in Europe. We have to worry about what's going on around the world. Can they get back and start making, productivity again, being productive? Unfortunately, it's not just U.S. economy anymore, it's global. What are we doing? Everybody else, right? We're playing the waiting game. We're trying to look and see what's going on. We don't know what's really hitting in the market. The real estate market's changing, obviously, but it does that all the time. The market's a cycle. The cycle we're on is pretty obvious, I think, to most of us that have been doing this a while. We're on the downside of the market now. But when is it going to hit bottom? When is it going to start going up? Those are the questions. We're just trying to play it smart. We're sitting back, watching what's going on. We're taking care of what we have in house. It's, guys, right now, if you don't do anything else, just get your house in order and get your personal life, get your personal financials. Make sure you are ready to go whenever this thing breaks loose. And I think it definitely will. I kind of, I don't know if y'all heard me yesterday, but I started talking about some things that were really, I want to say humorous, but they're really not. If you think about it in a real, sincere thought process. I came up with what I called the triple D of real estate in Houston right now. What are we kind of seeing? And the first thing that I heard about is, there's so many people that are having to stay home and now they're with their significant other than they have been ever in their life. It's really causing a huge problem out there. Guys and girls out there have really not spent this much time together. So they're anticipating that there's going to be a huge increase in the amounts of divorces that are going to happen. Guys, get ready. I mean, it's a bad thing to happen. I get it. But, look, we're looking for opportunities. It's definitely an opportunity that we can go after. The other one's not so much. I mean, look, the thing they're talking about obviously is this is coronavirus, and it's right. It's not like the recession we had back in 2008. That was a recession based on greed. That was banks getting really greedy and going after any kind of person. If they could breathe, if you could put a mirror up to under their nose and you got a fog on it, they got financed. Look, that's what brought that recession. This one is totally different. You're right. It's a recession based on a condition, the pandemic. It's happening to everyone. So one of the things that happens, unfortunately, when these people get this pandemic, there is a certain percentage of them that will be my second D, and that's death. People are going to die. It's a horrible thing to have happen, but that is an opportunity in the real estate market, at least for people that do this as a profession. And I'm going to get over that one real quick and go to my third D. Look, I can't tell you how many people I have had ask me about, are we going to see an uptick in foreclosures? Man, I don't know. I wish I had the crystal ball on that one. I do know that with the federally backed loans, anything that FHA's put their little stamp on, they've mandated that you have a forbearance, condition, and as a lender, and allowing these people to have that forbearance on their loan, which means they're not going to have to pay it right away. But the question is, what is the repayment term going to be? Is it going to be a forbearance where you have to pay it? Let's just say this thing's over in 60 days. On day 90, when your payment is due, are you going to have to pay everything back that you've missed over the past 3 months? Or are you going to be able to tack it on to the end of the note, which a lot of people are saying that's what they're going to do. But there is no government regulation or government definition of how that has to happen. That's up to the lender. And unless you have had your lender come in and say, this is specifically what we're going to do, that's a definite question that you need to ask your lender to find out how that forbearance is going to really help you. Is it going to be a hindrance in 90 days? I have to come up with 4 months of payment and say, gee, guys, I don't have the money to pay you. If that occurs, then I think we have a chance for my third D, and that's default. And that's defaulting on loans. I think we're going to see some of it. I don't know how prevalent it'll be at this point. I guess time is going to tell us. But this economy is going to ramp up quick on one side and I think slower on the other. And when I say the economy is going to ramp up, that's the people that are out there that you owe money to, like the utility companies and the bank loans that you owe, and any type of credit cards you have that are giving you a little break right now. As soon as they can, they're going to be having their hand out saying, you need to pay me. But the problem is those people are just getting back to work, and they don't have the money to, number one, go out and buy food to put on the table and get the essentials taken care of that they need to support their family and have the ability to take care of these creditors. I think that's where the problem lies. And that's where I think we're going to see problems because of this restriction. Is there's going to be that time lag where people are actually getting back to work and having the ability to get back to where they were 2 months ago. We had a pretty robust economy going on until just a few months ago, and it stopped quick. We have more people. I heard on the news yesterday, we have more people on unemployment now than we have ever had. Or excuse me, let me rephrase that. We had more people apply for unemployment compensation in the last 3 weeks than in the last year and a half. That's a pretty significant number if you want to look down to it. So are we in a recession? Yeah, I think we're getting there. When is it going to stop? It depends on how fast we can all get back to work, and how fast people can have a little bit of money in their pocket that doesn't have to go somewhere. That's kind of where I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think all the panelists, what I'm getting this kind of overview is we're all talking about getting your house in order, getting your business financials in order. Even our fellow investors, our students, the people we teach, the young investors are starting out. I think what I'm hearing from everybody is be prepared, get some money together, because there's going to be some opportunities. And when the opportunities are there, you want to have at least the resources to buy some houses. Buy and hold seems to be a big thing we all do. I kind of agree that flipping is a little bit ambitious for anybody over about a $250,000 house, but the buy and hold market's there. So get your house in order. I think that's it. And none of us have a crystal ball. But it kind of gets into the second question I want to start off with is what should a real estate investor expect? I know we've kind of gone over a little bit, but we've got a lot of our members and our students. I know all of us have a RIA and all of us have a lot of people listen to us. What are we telling them to do and get prepared? I know we're getting a lot of calls. What do I do next? What do I do next? Brant, I know I'd like to get you to started on this one real quick because I know you got to leave soon. So give us an idea what you're talking to your students about and the people you teach, because I'm sure they're knocking your door down and ringing your telephone.
We can't hear you, Brent.
There's a bunch of static.
A lot of static, Brant.
How about now?
Good.
You go.
About that, I don't know. I didn't change anything. Get your house in order. Get your house. Get your business in order. Get lean as you can. You don't want to stagnate growth, but get lean as you can. Just in the event of worst case scenario. AC hit on it. We're ramping up our marketing now. I'm not gonna. Geez, kind of hesitant to say this, but a very well-known national franchise that buys houses. I've been told that a lot of their franchisees, real estate investors, have reduced or stopped their marketing like in the last month, and I'm like, I thought those guys, like, I don't know, I didn't think that they thought like that, because there's everything we've talked about equates to fear, uncertainty, volatility, all this kind of stuff, and you put an equal sign means opportunity. So we are ramping up our marketing as we speak. We hit all of our old leads last week with RVM drops, text blast. We're hitting the AC hit on it. We're hitting the landlord list hardcore right now. Like right now, I think that's going to be a big opportunity. So we're hitting those really, really hard. The thing with the stock market bounce back, I think that we've got a window to kind of get out for the next 4 to 6 months, and that's why I've got like a $450,000 house going on the market that happens to have a raccoon stuck on the roof right now. We just got a quote. It's $1,500, by the way, to remove a raccoon. I'm like, the dude's just gonna have to die, man. He's gonna, and we'll get him out later. Cut that, Stephen, from the animal rights people.
Raccoon King.
Yeah, Raccoon King. So we're cleaning shop, but we're also being aggressive, right? So it's kind of weird. Like, we have to be very conservative and lean, but aggressive, right? So it kind of sucks, but you may have to drop the office, or you may have to, God forbid, run a little bit leaner with employees, but invest heavily on marketing so you're prepared to get that office or add on staffing in the future when opportunities start coming abroad. We're under contract right now too on a 51 lot subdivision that we're building out as basically a mobile home, manufactured home park. By the way, it sounds better when you say manufactured housing than mobile home, but so we're really going to dive deep into looking for those opportunities of very, very affordable housing, because if the market just totally tanks, we'll go to worst case scenario, we're great there. If the economy does great, we're still good there, right? So that's what we're looking for, ways that win-win opportunities. I've done so many where, oh crap, this deal needs to go right or I'm going to get hurt. And I felt it in around 2012, the last time oil and gas tanked. That's when I was doing a lot of my height stuff, flipping high-end houses like that one that AC has right now. And I'll be praying for you, my friend, that you get a contract soon, because I've been through that where I had $500,000 to $800,000 houses, and I'm like, they're not selling. Oh crap! I had to refinance them. I was negative cash flow for a long time, and I got through it all. So those are the main things we're doing. We're focused on win-win. You got to safeguard yourself. This is not, in my opinion, the time that you take risks, right? You want to buy everything with multiple exit strategies. In the next 3 to 6 months, I think we're all going to be very, very conservative, seeing where this thing is going. Maybe rather than taking it down yourself, just wholesaling it, working on finding your buyer's list. There's one other thing I was going to mention. We're going through refinances as well right now. We're getting kind of the ones that we are going to keep. We're going to get in this cheap money, low interest rates, as long as it lasts. But I think that's going to last a really long time, to be honest, with the economy doing what it's doing. I think that's it, for the most part. That's what we're doing. That's what we're focusing on. I think the main message is be very, very cautious, but at the same time, whenever you see opportunities that you don't know how long this window is going to last. I think we've all been saying, you hate to see when people are suffering and businesses are going out. And, I know that crime is going to rise and drug addiction goes up and alcoholism and divorce rates. All this kind of stuff is a really bad side of things when we go through a time like this. We do. But we've all been saying, like, I know I know you guys have, like, man, I miss 2008 and 9, whenever we could just pick up deals and equity and just all over the place, and the lack of competition. We've already seen a lot of our competitors leave the market immediately. Open Door, OfferPad, Zillow, those guys are not buying right now. And I can't tell you how many houses that we've lost, the last 12 to 18 months from those outfits alone. Now, I did hear an Open Door commercial this morning, so I don't know if that's old marketing or if they're coming back already, but I've heard they're going to be on the sidelines for quite a while. That's it. I guess that's everything that comes to my mind and what we're talking about.
Very good.
I'm sorry. The other thing I was going to say about the finance. So this is what we've done. The big banks, we've got like our Fannie Mae type of loans that are with your big institutional lenders. Most of them, from what I've seen, it's a 90-day forbearance. You got to pay that. As soon as those 90 days are up, you got to pay it back in full. We're not even doing that. It's too much paperwork. It's too much. What's the point? Our local banks, we went to all of our local banks and we said, hey, we need a 90-day forbearance. They said, well, are you losing rents? Are you losing this? Are you losing that? I said, nope, we're actually doing pretty good. I do have about a dozen vacant homes that are under contract, under rehab, or getting market. So I got like 12 of them right now. And because we've removed 6 tenants in the last, I chose not to extend leases in the last 2 to 3 months so I could get these houses ready for the market, by the way. So I had, happy tenants paying the rent, and I'm like, hey, you got to go. And then Corona and all this stuff happens. I'm, oh, crap. So I'm in this. Yeah. Hey, you still there? So I'm in this thing, whether like it or not. And I had 2 unexpected tenants that I was just they were long-term. So I'm like, let's go to market. So I did put 4 on the market last week. We've got contracts on 2. We had a contract on a 3rd, and supposedly they lost their job. So that one backed out, but we're expecting another contract today on another house. And the other one's like $130,000 price point. So I think we're going to be good on those 4. I went to my local community banks that we've got, I don't know, probably 15 loans, and said, hey, I need to take advantage of the 90-day thing. They've all approved it. And I said, look, I'm just doing this, honestly, I'm just worst case scenario. That's all I'm doing this for, managing my cash flow. I've never defaulted or missed a loan in my life. I'm just asking for a favor here, given the situation. They all said yes. My private lenders, and we're holding about 60-something properties between rentals and owner finance notes and some of our flips. My private lenders, I'll tell you, my game plan with my private lenders is they don't miss a payment. I don't ever talk to them about forbearance. any of that kind of stuff, because my private lenders have been through me through thick or thin, and I know when it gets ugly, I want them having 100% just, peace that their money is safe with me, and it is. So my goal is to keep them paid, and I'm updating them. Hey, these are things we're looking at, and I've let them know I may need some help, but as far, our plan is you're not going to miss a payment. And by the way, get ready, tell your friends and family members, invest with Brant whenever these deals start hitting. So that's my game plan on the financing side of things, and how we're attacking everything.
Awesome. Mr. Vigil, you've got a lot of students and a lot of people you work with and partner with. What are you getting for your investors? What are you telling them to do? What do they expect?
Well, first off, when we went around the first time, I didn't introduce myself. I think a lot of people know me, Steve Vigil, and we've got the Wealth Club, and we've also got SVSM Enterprises and a number of SVSM companies that do a lot of other things, from holding rental properties, buying mortgage notes, owner finance. So I just want to throw that in there.
There you go.
But what Brant says has got a lot of truth to it. And we're doing a lot of the same type of things. And we're telling our students and all of our members, you've got to tighten your belts, and you've got to start thinking of being very prepared as we go towards the future. Because it's wide open right now. I think we all have a pretty good handle of opportunities that are going to present themselves to us. The length of time this window is going to be open is going to be we don't have any idea yet. This, we've all talked about it. This is a medical crisis, not a financial crisis. So how things are going to take shape, still, anybody's guess. But I think the big part of it is going to be jobs coming back online, and the longer people are out of work, then the more opportunity it's going to give us as we move forward. As far as the forbearance goes, everybody's kind of touched on that. And I actually went and checked at my bank on my personal house just to see what their rules were, because I was curious, so I could have some information. And I've also looked at several other banks. And this is from, especially if this is your homestead. We're not talking about investment properties, but if this is your homestead, every bank I've seen so far that's offering forbearance, in their rules and regulation, they make it very clear that at the end of the period of that forbearance, all money is due for your house. So if any back payments are due all at one time. So could we see an opportunity from that down the road? That's not going to be that down the road, probably. So I think that we might have opportunity there. We are also, we had already started doing some different things in our business before all this happened, because of where the economy was. The economy has been doing very good, been very strong for a long time. And it's also made it very hard. I mean, I'm a big buyer, like Brant, like so many of you guys, we're big buyers. But when the economy is very good and prices are very high, it makes it very difficult for us to find the types of deals that we want to buy and we need to buy. So we started making plans and changes last year in what we're doing. And I'm now we're taking a year with everything moving forward, from our lenders, from the type of properties we're looking at. I'll like I said, we put 2 deals under contract yesterday, but these are lower end properties. The price points were way low on these properties that we've got them under contract for. So will I probably just try and wholesale them to start off with? Yeah, but if I don't, I could close on both of them without a problem. It wouldn't be an issue to close on them and turn them into rental properties or finance properties. So multiple strategies are very important right now. So those are the things that we're doing. Those are things I'm telling all of our students and all of our members they should be doing with everybody that's calling me. I think getting your financing in order is really, really important. Know where you can get money from when it's time to pull the trigger. We've always been very big in the private money sector, and we're having lots of communication with our lenders. We've got money out on loans right now on deals that we're working. I'm all very, very big believer, exactly like Brent said, our private lenders, they will be taken care of no matter what we have to do at all costs. There's no exception to anything else. We've talked to our lenders on refinance properties for rental properties, asked about different, deference programs that they've got set up. And most of them have got ways that they'll work with us if we need to. So far at this point, we have not chose to go that way. We are making all of our payments. But in the future, if all of a sudden tenants stop making payments to us, we can go and talk to them again, and we can set up a program. But our method right now is to keep paying everybody that we can. On the personal side of stuff, like credit cards or anything like that, pay your minimum payments right now. You don't need to pay extra on bills if you don't have to. Those are the kinds of things that we're doing ourselves. That's just, and there's no right or wrong. Anybody can do it. Whatever you're comfortable with, I think is what you should do. But this is what we're doing. I think there's still going to be, there's going to be great opportunity for us, and being prepared for that right now is really important. And like I say, we'd already started going directions for other things, and we're pushing very, very heavily in that direction right now to put those other programs online even bigger and better than where we were already. That's really about what we're doing, and that's what I'm telling anybody that's talking to me. If asking for my advice, that's kind of what I'm telling them.
Great advice for everybody. Gabe, you're up next. As far as what you've got, a lot of students you work with and a lot of partners you work with, and I'm sure they're asking you the same thing. What do we do next? What do they expect for 2020? How are they going to invest? What kind of advice are you talking to them about?
Yeah, for sure. So what we do is very similar to what everyone else is saying. First is really where your mindset at. So we're going over, like we say 3 F's. So basically, where's your family, where's your finances, and what's your future look like? So that's part of this whole survive mode of where most of us are at, is saying, okay, where's your family at? That's a health issue, right? Where's your family at with kids and with everything else, to where how much time do you have on your schedule right now? And this is for a lot of people who had full-time jobs or did real estate as a part-time job. They weren't doing it full-time and whatnot. This is a good opportunity for them if they're at home, right? Because now they might have a little bit more time than they did before to study, where they could wake up a little bit earlier. They don't have to go to work right away, get out the door. They could spend time in the morning getting some education in, getting some training in, learning some new skills, going through some of those things that was really cumbersome for them to do before in a different environment. The other thing that we do is just start looking for the future. Okay, where are you at right now financially? Okay, that's some of the financial area where we're saying, okay, do they, like pretty much everything everyone said is, how's your finances? Do you have anything to rely on? Do you have any backup reserves to pull out? Credit, you name it, pretty much everything everyone said. And then we're helping them get set up for the future. So this is the time to invest in yourself and invest into your marketing. If you slow down on marketing right now, I mean, I'm pretty aggressive in just how I talk. And I would say, I don't know how you're going to make it coming out of this thing if you're not thinking about marketing right now. So we've already been transforming the way we do it, our business, from December to February. So whenever this hit, we kind of was like, we were ready. We're like, oh my gosh, it happened sooner than what we thought. But we've been ready to do a lot of mobile stuff to stay lean. So we've been helping everybody that we know say, okay, are you getting lean? Do you really need that office? Can you do more conference calls? Can you do more communications? Most of my team have already been in their own home offices and whatnot. So for probably 3 or 4 months. So we already have that training in place of what worked, what didn't work, and how to have these good conversations and how to grow. The other thing is, and I know that we've touched on a little bit, is what kind of marketing are we going to be doing and who are we marketing for, right? So we talked about a lot of the problems going on, but what does those problems mean? That means that we might not have all the buyers at the normal pricing that we would be used to. So what do we do instead? So we're going to start seeing stuff like seller financing, sub twos, very creative type of deals to come out of this stuff. And that's what I think people need to spend their time educating themselves on. So anyone who comes to us, and that, I mean, I have people from realtors to brand new people saying, hey, I'll call them up and say, are you doing any driving around? Are you doing even looking at properties? What are you doing right now? You used to be a teacher. And I'll send them links, or I'll send them free or just YouTube videos of, hey, hone up your skill on this. Well, I don't really know how to do these other things. I'm like, okay, well, if you can hone up your skill on this, our team's doing these other things, I could come and rely on you, right? And then now you're part of our team, and now we can help you grow and you can help us grow, because we have to learn how to, the people that are still doing this and having a good time and willing to be involved in real estate investing, we're going to be, I'm calling everybody who's on this chat right now. We have talked to each other. We have texted to each other. We've asked, hey, what's going on and how can we help each other? It's the same thing with our team and some of the people in our networking group that we've helped, and some of our students. We're doing the same thing of saying, hey, this is happening. It's not going to go away. What's the exit strategy though? And so every time we go into doing investing, Brant said it earlier, is that we might want to have more exit strategies. There was a time where just a couple months ago where the only exit strategy was to just sell it. Well, now we're entering into a season where we're going to have to find some very creative strategies, right, to help these people move out of their own properties, figure out where they need to go, pick up some stuff for us. It is a good opportunity, but for those who have the skills, it's a good opportunity. So I remember in 2008 and 2007, when all this stuff happened, I remember to go into somebody, and that person I thought had the skills to help me move to the next level. And all they said was, hey, we're having a good time. We're having a blast. Our net worth is crazy growing. And I asked them for help, and they weren't able to help me at all. And so I knew in my head, hey, I have to learn the skills, so whenever that happens again, I could be in front of the game instead of just watching everybody go by. So I think that's really the most important thing. The big takeaway for me during this time is, if you already have your house in order to some degree, and you have some type of financial structure, if you have even credit cards that have 0% interest for 18 months, those are things that you should be looking at now, or putting them in your LLC or whatever. Those are good to have, because we don't know, and everyone's talked about it. But the additional thing I would add to this group is just saying, learn the skill sets. Go and research, go talk to a couple people and saying, what other skill did you need besides wholesaling, flipping, and renting, right? Because those things, I think, is going to be some awesome times to help people out of situations, but then also gain some wealth for yourself.
Got it. AC, do you have a question? But if not, I'd like to pose the same question to you. You've got a big following, and you've got a lot of students you've mentored over the years. I'm sure you're getting a lot of these same questions of what do I do next? Maybe I'm a newbie. Maybe I'm got a couple of houses. What do I do? How do I make more money? Give us an idea of what you're telling your guys.
Yeah, and it's funny because me and Gabe actually talked not too long ago about this, and I recently had a baby. So Ceci and I had a baby about 2.5 months ago.
We talked about your baby?
We did. Well, we talked about
we did.
and the baby. We talked about a lot of stuff. But preparing for the baby to come, and it's, we have 5 boys. That was our first girl. I wanted to spend more time at home and be with Ceci and the baby, and be able to work more from home. So I actually, in late December, January, it started talking about it before that, but actually started implementing it in December, January. We had a 5,000 square foot office. I cut that down to a much smaller office where I can just go and meet people one-on-one if I need to. And I don't need the space for classes and everything like that. I started going more online with my mastermind group and my trainings and everything like that. And this just so we were kind of prepared by accident, right? I was preparing for the baby to come and changing my lifestyle up in the way I do business. And this just kind of fell right into that. But what I have noticed is being like Brant was talking about, being more lean, having a more lean business helped us to pivot. Because the way, if I would have been still doing things the way I was doing it in last year, moving that ship around, because it was a huge machine, right? You know, I mean, we have classes with a lot of people present in the classroom, and I had a lot of space for that. And it would have just been like maneuvering a cruise ship, right? You can't make a turn real quick and change anything. But now with being lean, we did have a smaller office. So I had like 6 acquisition people instead of a classroom that could hold 40 people. I only needed space for 6 people, 6 to 8 people. Really, I have a little bit more room, but 6 to 8 people is what I was planning on having working acquisitions for me, an acquisition team and disposition team. And now they're all not even working at the office. They're all working from home, and it's easier. And with all the tools that are available now, like Zoom and GoToWebinar and everything like that, we can still meet and still be present and see each other in a virtual way. But it has made pivoting a lot easier, right? And I don't have a lot of students that had big companies like that, because like most of our weight, I guess you would say, and cumbersomeness came from our coaching business, right? Our real estate business has always been very virtual and very mobile. And with that being said, I didn't have a lot of students that had a lot of huge offices or something like that. So a lot of them worked from home. So it's been easier to pivot into virtual closing now. Like I've always been big on virtual close. We closed most of our deals on the phone. And it's been that way since I started. I've always closed most of my deals on the phone. And then, so pivoting is a lot easier when you have a smaller business like that. Now with my students, I'm buying properties with my students if it's a good deal. Like the multifamily stuff, I'm helping them find deals, putting people in connections. Like some people have money and they don't want to deal with the sticks and bricks, but they want to be involved passively, using their money to get other students in deals or get deals with ourselves. So our mastermind group is very close-knit community where we're doing a lot of deals together. What I wasn't expecting is I've actually had 2 people sign up for my mastermind group this week, that one of them, she's not working, but she had money saved up and she's like, hey, this is my opportunity to get in real estate, and I want to learn everything right now and start trying to get my business going now, which I think there is opportunity for that, because like we cover all the way from wholesaling to buy and hold and lending, private lending or whatever, passiveness. So she wanted to do that. And another guy who's still working, he's in the trucking business, and his job's pretty secure because he's in the trucking business, right? They're still, having to deliver goods and everything. So he wants to get into the business, and he has money, you know what I mean? So he might want to be an investor, and he also wants to get his business going. So like he's trucking during the day, and then when he comes home, he's working on his real estate business at night. I wasn't expecting as many people to be looking for getting into the business at this time that there are. But that caught me a little bit by surprise. But we're able to be in touch with everybody via, masterminds and meetings every week online and virtual through Zoom and GoToWebinar, which has completely changed the game. You have to learn how to use technology. You know what I mean? Like technology has changed everything. And even in the investing realm, like I said, we've always been big on the virtual wholesaling, but we were virtual wholesaling from an office. Now everybody's spread out all over town, and we're still virtual wholesaling, but from everybody's individual home. And now we're starting to spread out into other markets across the country, like Philadelphia and Atlanta, South Carolina, North Carolina. And that's all made possible, by doing things virtually, right? And we've been good at it, but now we're expanding that a little bit more. And I'm telling my students the same thing. It's possible. And I think when they see that it's possible and they see you're doing it, it makes it a lot more for them to believe they can do it. And then they're willing to jump in there and put in the work. And another thing is, like I think Rick talked about it, death, divorce, debt, default. All of those things are going to happen, and they are opportunities, right? And some people are like, well, man, you're kind of like, do you feel like a vulture going out there looking for these situations? And I'm like, look, we look for these situations every day anyway. And we're not vultures. We're here to offer a solution. And I truly believe if you really have the best intentions, the money comes to you. If you're out there chasing the dollar and you're trying to rip somebody off and you're just trying to make what you can in the now, it's going to come back on you and that money's going to run, right? But we didn't create this virus. Well, no, we didn't, who knows? But we didn't create the virus. We didn't, we're not creating all, the deaths are coming from the virus, right? We didn't wish that on anybody. We didn't create this situation. Those are just things that are happening. That's just the game that's going on around us. We can only play the hand we're dealt, right? So being able to help people in those situations and make money, that's just business. And you can still make money doing business and help people at the same time. But we didn't create the virus. We didn't create these situations, and there's gonna, like you said, there's gonna be a lot of divorce that goes on from this. There's a lot of, so besides the death from the viruses, the suicide rate has gone up tremendously because of financial stress and financial issues anyway, right? So that's another form of death that's going to impact our world. And we didn't create that either, but all we can do is be there to help people that are dealing with those situations.
Well, I agree with you a lot, and I think you hit a key factor that Russ Corp and a lot of our investors, y'all are going through virtual and technology and working with our students and our members, the Zoom calls and Skype and whatever you use is becoming more and more and more. We're using it a lot. Our training we do is all online. Our coaching is all online. Our groups that we purchase houses with, we all do Zoom meetings every week. I think it's fantastic because it gives you an opportunity to really communicate and stay on top of your business. I'm glad to see that trend. And I'm like you, we don't go to the office that much. We have a place that we go to if we need to. We got a place that's got a good conference area. So I'm seeing that trend also. And I think all of our students appreciate that because we can record things and they can come home from work and see it at night. So it's a good thing to do. Fabian, you've got a big following. And I know that you work with a lot of your students and a lot of your associates, and you partner with them and you work with them. What kind of questions are they doing with you? What are you telling them that they need to do for 2020?
Well, I think everybody is different, but in my opinion, or for myself, I'm taking care of what I have already, helping my tenants, guiding them to resources, because most of them will not even know how to apply for things. So if you help them, essentially you're helping yourself as well. In my case, I'm also reducing my bills. So I'm calling companies to ask for discounts or for better service or something like that. What else? The Section 8 and people who are depending on the government, I think are great tenants right now because they don't really lose any income because most of them don't work anyway. So I think I'm gonna accept more of those tenants who don't rely on jobs. It's what it is. Having other streams of income. In my case, well, with eXp Realty, so having residual income helps. Just this week, I have 2 or 3 people join our team, so that's also taking care of some bills. We were already prepared because eXp is already in the cloud. What else? I'm building a website called storeclosing.com. So all the retail businesses are hurting already before the virus, and it's gonna be even worse for them. So this website will advertise all the retail businesses going out of business. That's why the name is storeclosing.com. And not only that, but I will tell you the specific discounts and so many other things. So stay tuned for that. So I think it's time to reinvent yourself, not just real estate. I love real estate, but I don't think we should rely only on real estate, even though real estate is so big. When I get into mobile homes, just like Brent, I think that's a great business, especially nowadays where people cannot afford a big house. So most people will be able to afford a mobile home. So I think that's a greater strategy. Taking care of your lenders, especially your private lenders. So I want to make more a relationship with private lenders. I already talked to my private lenders, and I asked them for forbearance, not because I need it right now, but if you look good on your bank statements, you will get loans. So that's my reason to hoard money right now, so I can apply for loans. I'm gonna have a really good 1040 for 2019 as well. So that way I can apply for more loans later on. So that will be a good recommendation to take care of your credit, take care of your income tax, so you are able to apply for conventional money, because I think most of the private money will be a little scarce because either people are too scared to lend you money, or they want to take advantage themselves on the good deal. So either way, it's good to have more avenues of money. As far as other people, I think if you have the skills to know what to do in this business and this time, you're gonna make a lot of money. At the beginning, I was really scared because of the uncertainty. I didn't know how many people were going to pay rent, and I didn't know the banks were gonna give us the forbearance. But now that I'm in the acceptance period, and I'm actually like excited about this moment. I'm at the same time, of course, I'm sad for a lot of people who are losing their jobs and stuff like that. But I know like people like you and me and people in this panel will take a great advantage of this. Like I always thought, I wish I knew all these things like from the beginning, so I can take even greater advantage of on times like this. So I feel really prepared, and for other people, I think they need to study strategies like Subject 2, because you don't need a lot of money for that, and combine those strategies. Like black and white deals are not longer doable, or not as doable as before. You really need to be creative. Subject 2s, wraps, owner financing, partnering with other people work. So that's about it.
But so like you're doing a lot of education, supporting not only your students, but a lot of your tenants and helping them out, because that holds your business together. And definitely it can help with all your associates and friends that work with you to succeed. So I admire you for that. That's a real good thing to do. A lot of mentors are only in it for the money and not for helping. And helping is a big part of growing your students and your base and helping everybody. Rick, I know we've talked about it, but kind of give an idea what Russ Corp's doing and Houston Buyers Club is doing, kind of help our investors what they kind of expect in 2020, because we get calls all the time.
Well, I think one of the things that we have to think about right now, and what we're telling a lot of people is, look, you're afraid out there. We get it. You're scared. You don't know what's going to happen, but don't feel pressured to make a snap decision on whatever it is that you're going to do moving forward. We've all learned, just through experience, snap decisions are typically what? They're poor decisions. So we need to really take a moment, step back. And history tells us, that quite frankly, we got plenty of time to make the correct decision, to make the right assessments and look at your options. So, we've all talked about the same thing. I was really amazed, though, frankly, we hadn't talked a lot, as a group in a while. Virtual presence is really becoming paramount now. I think that all of us have kind of gone that route where we're more on this type of media that we're doing today. We're not doing the large groups of people get together. We, our coaching now, even our group coaching is virtual. we do, group Zoom calls, group phone calls, conference calls, whatever we need to do. Don't get me wrong. That doesn't mean if you have a situation where you need to see us face to face, or go out and look at a property with you, then we're going to say, no, just take your phone, take some pictures, and put the video on, and we'll tell you what's going on. Oh, look, man, we're out there too. Come on, guys. I mean, that's just part of the business. But the reality dictates that, it's smart right now to really mitigate those expenses, your overhead that you have, so that you can really be ready and have the cash presence available when you need it for what's important. And I got to tell you, Gabe said it probably right. It's family first. Make sure your finances are in order, and what's your future going to hold. I think those are paramount decisions that we have to look at. I can't remember who was saying it, but I started chuckling. I said, I guess one of the problems that we have when we become comfortable in our situation is we don't do some of the things that, we've always told people they ought to do. I laughed at myself yesterday because I had to go become one of those people, hey, look, I was the tribute. I went out and went to Walmart yesterday. Got around all those people. It was horrible, guys. It was terrible. I was afraid to touch one of the baskets. But on the way home, I went driving for dollars. It was really pretty cool. I had a great time. And I found some properties. The thing I've noticed is because people have been off for so long, they're really starting to take care of their yards and around their houses. So, those people that are taking care of their place, those aren't the ones that we really want to look at anyway. We're going to go look for the ones that are, have some type of distress to them. So it's really easy to see now. I mean, because everybody's out cutting their grass. It's the only thing they got left to do. They don't want to be inside with their significant other, with, divorce rate. But hey, look, guys, so it's really an easy thing to do. Get out there and spend some time. You're social distancing. You got the windows up in the car, the AC on, the radio on, looking at houses. It was really pretty cool. I don't know what else to say about this question. I think everybody's pretty much answered it as fully as we can. Other than that, just look, take time and assess what's going on out there. It's really important right now. You got a little bit of time, but it ain't gonna last forever. We need to make sure, what our plans are, and kind of move that way. But take time to see what's going to shake out of the trees.
Good advice, because we get a lot of questions on that, and I think moving too fast or what we used to call deal horny is not a way to go anymore. Got to kind of think of what your exit strategy, because it's a different time, guys. Most of the common arenas where most real estate investors have chosen in the past have been flipping, wholesaling, single family buy and hold, multifamily, private and hard money lending, note investing, commercial. And if you could take one of those strategies right now in your bucket or your student's bucket, in the current conditions, and it had felt a comfort level, which of those would you believe would be the direction to go in? I know it's a lot of them, but which one do y'all feel is the best direction to go in today? Let's go ahead and start. Mr. V. Hill, you got the floor.
Well, for me personally, lending, I think is that's probably my number one place that we're going right now. We're giving a lot of education on being a passive investor right now. I've been doing a number of workshops. I've got another lunch and learn coming up in about a week and a half. I mean, there's a lot of, you need to stay in your lane, I think, right now. Don't vary out of it too much. there are opportunities to wholesale. So if you're a wholesaler, I think that that's what you should stick to do, and just refine that and get better at it. I think obviously I'm a big buyer of rental properties, so that's very important. But and all that comes from money. If we can't secure the financing for it, then we're not going to be able to pick those things up. So the one thing that we're concentrating on the most is financing of all kinds. Now that's not just financing with our private lenders, but I also know all the hard money guys out there. And like I've always said, if it's a deal, it doesn't matter where the money comes from. If the numbers still work, it works.
Right.
So, that's the number one thing for me. We're looking at, and we're also looking at, how can we create other owner finance? We do owner finance as well. We create notes, and sell properties owner finance through wraps, through a number of different avenues to do that. We also started a program last year buying mortgage notes. We've got a very good program with mortgage notes, and actually through all this that's going on, that's actually doing very well out there right now. So money is going to be my number one place. But I also think that education is everything. So like I said, I'm doing a lot of workshops right now on if you want to be a passive investor, if you want to get into this game, there's a lot of different ways you can do it. And one of the things that I preach all the time, and Rick just said it, do not just jump into anything. Right now, we see a lot of great opportunities out there that are going to be coming our way. And I agree 100%. But you've got to keep in mind, with great opportunity comes great pitfalls too. And if you're out there jumping into stuff without having education, without knowing, you're liable to get hurt really bad.
Right.
And that's what we're trying to prevent everybody from doing. But inevitably, people are going to do it. People do get deal horny, and now's the time to be very patient and think through the process. Look at the deals that are I won't say deals, just look at the opportunities that are presented to you, and see if they make sense. Really, if you don't know how to evaluate those deals, then find someone to help you evaluate those deals. Find a professional. Any of us on this panel can help you evaluate deals in many forms. We don't want to see people get hurt. And I think one of the biggest places where people will get hurt, if they're not careful and they're not smart, is in the money avenue, especially from the private guys. Now, our hard money guys, those guys are educated. Those guys are professionals at lending money, so they know how to look out for themselves. So I say this more to the passive investor that wants the private lender. They're the guys that can be very vulnerable in this situation as we're going through this. That's one reason I'm giving tons and tons of education on that, is to prevent that from happening. We started seeing a lot of that happen last year because the economy was in such good shape. A lot of passive investors were putting their money into deals that were too high, and I could give you a dozen stories on people that have come to me that in those situations. So anytime we have an opportunity, we also have an opportunity for a lot of bad people to come out. So our focus is going to be right now. Our number one focus is on money and securing money and being very prepared to move as the opportunities present themselves in front of us.
Gabe, in your experience of what you're doing and what over the next 6 to 8 months, during the current conditions, are you leaning towards any particular type of real estate, wholesaling, flipping, Steve's doing, private lending? Do you see any direction that you see you're going to take off that you recommend to your students?
Yeah, so not everything. So yes, private lending for sure. That's a given. So this is the time. We've gone to all of our lenders and said, hey, we're sitting pretty good. This is where we are. Wherever their asset is, we'll let them know this is what your asset's doing. And then, are you ready? And so we'll prep them, and everybody can see through it, right? All of our team can see through it. All of our lenders can see it. Wow, this probably is a good opportunity. What else do you have going? So we'll start having those conversations, talking to them about other people around them. Private lending is it's such a fun thing to do. It's really relational, talking about your business, you're talking about assets. So that's one of the things we're doing, and that's for sure. And I think that everybody should be looking at that. That's the financial structure of things. It's one of those things that you always have to be looking at. I've learned that from some of the people in this group of always looking at acquiring more cash, more money, more financing, because you can really never have enough. Because the other side is we're looking at doing some other manufactured housing, some parks, some RV parks, some other things that are on a bigger scale when it comes to some of the land and building out some of the land. I mean, guys, we have some land that has 6 units on it, and the tenants are saying, hey, you have this extra space. Can you go put an RV on it? I have some friends. Or can you put a tiny home on it? I have some friends. And I'm going, man, I don't want to dump my money into this property right now. Like I want to save my cash. And then I'm thinking, but I have these two separate tenants that are just there saying, and I know that they're totally checked out. And I'm like, man, that has never happened before, where I had other people saying, hey, I need more, like, please, my family wants to move here. I got other people. So that lets me know and gives me the warm and fuzzies that people still need a place to live, right? I mean, they're not going to go away. People need to move into places. So what can we do to get ready for that? So that's really what I'm focusing on. We'll always do or attempt to do wholesaling. That is just a strategy that you need to know. On some of the flips, we have some 300s right now. We just closed close to 300 yesterday. So we were already trying to get rid of as much of the higher end stuff as possible. I can tell you, if for all of my people, and I say for anyone here, if you have something that's under 225, it's going to fly off the shelf. Under 200, it's going to fly off the shelf, because there's not a lot out there like that, and people are going to need that affordable housing with the lending and with other stuff. So what's happening is the banks are coming in and they're readjusting things. The closing we did yesterday was supposed to close 2 weeks ago, and the bank was just stalling and stalling. It's so, they're going to go back. And then I don't know if you guys knew this, but the banks are going back and checking your job 24 hours beforehand. So they're going through and they're scoping every single aspect, not just, hey, don't buy any furniture before you move in. So if you're selling a property, you kind of want to make sure that the lender or the borrower is legit. And we normally do that anyways, but man, this past house, the borrower was or the buyer was a Exxon executive. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, let's make sure they still have their job to move forward. So those are some of the things that we've been seeing, that yes, always have wholesaling in your pocket, because you just need to know how to do the skill. But financing, like Steve V said, and then looking at some other opportunities to basically build wealth. This is the time to build your wealth. This is it. We've been prepping and we've been talking. AC, Steve, Rick, we've been talking about this for years, So we left the strategy years ago. Most people in the Houston market left it up saying, you don't really need to have so many exit strategies. You could always put it on the market and get rid of it. Where now we're in the place where we're looking at 3 or 4 or 5 different exit strategies per property, because we just don't know. But that's also where the wealth is built. So it's pretty exciting times.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a lot of challenges, but I'm with you. It's exciting because it's definitely going to sharpen our skills, and we can teach that to all of our associates and friends and members too. AC, I know you're real active. Do you see a direction that you are going, or do you see a direction that you would advise your students to go in the next 6 to 8 months?
Yeah, and it's funny because we were actually just talking about this on our last, we have Tuesday classes, online training classes. Now, we have a various, levels of everybody in our group. Obviously, people come in if they're just getting started and they don't have a lot of funds. Wholesaling is always going to be one of the safest ways to start, because it's the least amount of money that you can put at risk. What is our risk when we're wholesaling, really, right? Marketing money, right? And yeah, 2,000, 3,000, maybe 5,000, maybe a little bit more when you're starting out per month in marketing. Most people are starting with about 2,000, 2,500, something like that. But you're risking about, anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 a month, maybe, when you're starting out. And that's a lot of money. I'm not saying it's not a lot of money, but the opportunity for return is great, because you wholesale a deal and, our average return is 10,000. So you put out 2, make 10, you're still positive 8, and then you do it again and again, and you scale up, right? Now, that is for the beginners who are getting into wholesaling. And like I said, I think that's a good way to get started, because the least amount of risk, if you're doing it the right way. Build up your buyers list. Make sure you're having the right buyers on your list. We're building up our buyers list. So if our students get deals, we have the buyers list. We already have buyers in place. And then for the other people that still have good jobs and still have, executive jobs that are well paying, and they don't want to be in the sticks and bricks, so really they still want to be involved and they want to be past lenders. Reiterating exactly what Steve and Gabe said, we need to work, and with our deals or putting money to work in general to be able to make a return and be safe, right? You still have to make sure you're getting in on a good deal. You don't want to get in on a deal that's over leveraged or not a good deal, right? So educating them to be in on the right deal and how to make money passively with their money, either lending to us or other investors. And then, so that's the lenders and then the wholesalers. And then there's some that, they have good jobs and they want to be a little bit more involved. They want to be in on the buy and hold, but they want us to walk them through the process or with them. So we're covering, those are the 3 aspects I think are going to be good, throughout this, right? And wholesaling is always good because, like I said, it's one of the safest ways you can get in and have the least amount of risk, right? Just your marketing money. So wholesaling, if you're beginning and you only have a little bit of money to start and try to build that up. And then if you have money, either lending the right way or buying and holding. Same thing we've all been doing this a while here, and we've all known each other a while here. So, I think, and we've all seen a lot of the same stuff. So I think we all kind of have the same idea, like right now, and then getting creative. And when I say wholesaling, that could be wholesaling, subject twos, or buying and holding subject twos, but somehow acquiring control of that property, right? So taking control of the properties and renting them out, lending, if you have money and you just want to be passive, you have the opportunity to wholesale and make money is always there. And I think it's really good. Wholesalers that don't know what they're doing, man, they're gonna get taken out so fast.
They're hammered. I agree.
Yeah. And I'm
holding properties. I get buyers daily. Reduce. What does that tell you? They bought them totally wrong. And hopefully those people will be out and get more opportunity.
Or they either bought wrong or they were trying to go for the home run assignment. And in the market that we were in last year, you could sometimes get it and hit that $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 assignment fee, and maybe didn't leave the best deal for the investor, right? But now they're having to take $10,000 as an assignment fee. They weren't, like I call it finding the greater fool, right? Like those out there that look for the greater fool. Yeah, I was kind of dumb for getting to this high. You're dumber for paying more.
Yeah, but,
Well, definitely I'm gonna to I'm selling my last one probably in 2 weeks, and I'm very hopeful it's gonna close. I made sure they had a conventional loan. They're putting 20% down. So and I asked them about their jobs, and they look like pretty secure jobs. One of ours works for the county, so I don't think they're gonna be doing layoffs anytime soon. And they only put like $100 option fee. So I asked them for more option fee, or I told them, okay, since you are only putting $100, I'm not gonna change the status of the property to pending, since we have a verbal agreement that we're gonna do that, or you put more option fee, because I'm not gonna wait 20 days for $100. Not even 100, it was $50. And they agree. So my property is still active, and if I get another offer, I have a backup offer at least. Doesn't mean I'm gonna backup of the existing contract, but at least I have more options. But to answer the question, I want to do more subject to deals. I'm already in love with the strategy. I was about to teach a class, live class, just before this started. I'm gonna do it online now, like everybody else, I guess. After that, subject to deals to do wraps, because I don't want to hold it just yet, because properties will still come down, in my opinion. So I want to do subject to wraps so I can have some steady, residual income coming in, and then subject to deals to hold it, a little later, maybe in a year. I can hold some anyway, and then like in 2 years when the banks are flooding with this foreclosures, then maybe even buying notes. I'm not an expert in notes, but I think this is a great time to learn a new strategy. Or like Brand is doing mobile homes. I think that's also a greater strategy. I continue to doing the EXP realty model as well, and getting more residual income from that as well. So it's a matter of getting more avenues of income.
Yeah, I think multiple streams of income, all of us have been working on that for the last couple of years. No, we can't rely on just one thing. When we started out, we were wholesale. That's all we did. And slap ourselves, we never kept enough houses, but hey, it paid the bills, it made us a lot of money, so we can't really complain. But we learned over the years that we've got to have multiple streams to exist. Rick, the same thing with you. We've talked about it also, but what areas are we feeling we need to go, and then what areas are we advising our students to go into the next 6 or 7 months?
Well, I'll kind of take that one. So let's talk about what we're, kind of telling people right now. And one of those things is develop multiple exit strategies on a property or whatever you're doing. Don't get tied into that one way of doing it. If you see an opportunity and it has multiple exit strategies, do the one that makes you the safest and best money and is beneficial to all people, all the parties involved. It's got to be a win-win situation for everyone. I think every one of us at some point during this conversation today has talked about the morals and ethics of doing our business, which for the last few years, we've seen a lot of folks that aren't vying by that rule. The kind of cool part about it is those people are going away. People have seen through that ruse, and their unscrupulous, unmoralistic, unethical ways of doing business don't work in this type of environment. And, I'm sorry this environment's happening for all of us, but I'm glad it's getting rid of the scum. We can kind of skim that scum off the pond here now and have a little better environment to work in. Most of us in this business consider ourselves professionals in real estate investing. That's what we are. That's what we do. We enjoy it. It's under our skin, and we're here to make money. Don't get me wrong. I don't think it's immoral, unethical to make money, but I think it's immoral and unethical to take advantage. So having that ability to be able to work with people and have that win-win situation by putting out multiple exit strategies on whatever it is you're looking at in a deal or in an opportunity. And Mr. Vigil said it correctly. Let's not say deals, but in the opportunities that are presented to us, I think is really important. Now, what we're doing, I think we're really doing what we've always done, or what we've come to do in our later life. And I'll go back and I'll say, and I've heard every one of you guys say this in one way or another. If I knew then what I know now, what would I have done differently? Well, guess what, guys? It's then again. Or it very shortly will be. So what would you do now? Steve hit it right on the head. I can't tell you how many times we've looked at each other and gone, man, how many wholesale properties went through our building? And we said, how many of them we should have kept? Well, you know what? We're keeping them now.
Yeah.
Does it mean we're not going to wholesale? No, we'll wholesale properties. But we have the ability to keep properties now when they make sense. And if a property does, if we put a property under contract, you know, it's something we've always said, and unfortunately, it's happened twice to us. We've had 2 contracts that we weren't able to close one way or another.
Really?
But the bottom line to it is that we don't have to let a contract fail. If we put a property under contract, it's important to us that we have the ability to close it. I'm not going to get into a situation that we put, especially now, that we put a seller into a situation where it could cause extreme detriment to their way of life by not being able to actually close a contract and do the things we say we're going to do. But that being said, I think what the most important area of business that we're going to stay into is going to be the buy and hold landlord type properties. But I think it's going to be a little different than what we've done in the past. We've been talking about it, and one of the things I brought up here recently to the guys was that whether it's multifamily or if it's single family residence, I think you're going to see a little shift in what people are able to afford. And I don't know if it's what they're actually able to afford or what they perceive they're able to afford. I think what they're going to do is take some reassessment in their lives and say what's important. Like Gabe said, family's important. We got to make sure that we maintain that. We got to make sure our finances are in order. So I think they're going to take those 2 things into view, and maybe they're not going to rent that $3,000 a month house. Maybe they're going to look at a $2,000 a month house, or really the sweet spot we're seeing is about a $1,400, $1,200 to $1,400 house. And I think that's the business we're going to get into and stay and maybe even less. I heard Fabian say it, you know, the subsidized housing market right now, you get paid every month whether the person has a job paying you. So you don't have what type of detriment that tenant is having as far as having the ability to stay into a job. You get paid every month. First of the month comes by, well, actually, third of the month comes by, and you typically have your payment. So I think that's what we're going to do. I think we're going to stay in our little lane, which is how we work. We like buy and hold, and we're just going to continue seeing how many we can pass. We really like that market. It's always made more sense that we can go one place and collect all our rent at one time, instead of having to go door to door. Fortunately, you know, and I've heard everybody say it, we haven't had a whole lot of problem. People are paying us. We do have, obviously, it's not as rapidly as we want it sometimes, but everybody's been pretty good. So I think that's what we're going to do. We're just going to continue to do the same, but I think we're going to do it. We're going to get into some properties. I think that's what we're going to possibly see what type of shit you have and move forward.
I really think we covered a lot today. I know we have a lot of people contributing and a lot of the same philosophy, the same direction. We're kind of, a lot of us are on the same page. We're fortunate that we have ability to teach our students and educate our students and have programs for our members and work among investors like us to, you know, brainstorm so we can help each other in the market and help each other direction. But, you know, one of the things, we got to pretty much slow down. I don't know, I'm getting bored sitting at home all the time. And even though I've got my 3-year-old granddaughter here, she keeps me busy, but still, it is part of the deal. But while you're off all this time, what are you telling everybody and yourself? How do you make the best use of this time during this downturn? What are you going to do? What can you do personal? and for business. Just a real quick follow-up. How do you make the best use of the time? And let's start with Steve.
Well, I think, I mean, and there's like a million different answers to this question, but from a business standpoint, education is everything. Right now, we should be getting as much education as possible. And for all of us, we're teaching as much as we can to help others, which is super, super important. If since I have a lot of rental properties, if you've got rental properties, if you've got vacancies and you've got make-readies that need to be done, get the make-readies done. We've been getting tons of calls for potential tenants. We're putting tenants in vacant properties once we get them online very quickly right now. It's kind of funny that, we're in such a situation, but the rental market has been very good, and it's increasing, seems to be increasing as we're going forward. Now, we do have quite a few Section 8 tenants, which I'm very big on Section 8, but it's kind of funny. It's kind of a double-edged sword, because we're in a crisis now where I wish all I had was Section 8 tenants. But when we get in a situation where we're having a government shutdown and the government stops paying, now we're going to be on the opposite side of the fence when it comes to Section 8, because we're not getting our money. So, I mean, it's a balance, but I still love my Section 8 tenants. They're have always been some of our best tenants. So I think you've got to keep moving forward no matter what. Even I don't sit at home well at all, and I actually get out most days checking properties. Any vacant property we've got, we're going by, we're checking them. Right now, I feel extremely vulnerable for vandalism and theft. So we're doing a lot of checking on properties. We haven't had any issues. We're very fortunate there, but it also allows me to get out of the house. We're still doing, we're practicing all the social distancing like everybody suggests. So that's not a big deal at all. But I think it also helps your sanity a little bit, and not just staying cooped up in the house all the time. From a personal level, all my kids are grown up and not at home anymore, but it's important to get with family more, connect more with some of the things that we tend to get away from. We get very busy, very wrapped up in our businesses, and sometimes we tend to forget about what we're doing it for, and we're doing it for family and loved ones. And so try and keep your connection, get to know family members better if you're in a situation that you don't necessarily know somebody as well. It just gives you that opportunity. But at the same time, when you're stuck in the house with the same people, day in and day out, yeah, you've got to have outlets and avenues and get away from it a little bit too, to keep all of us insane. Yeah. I mean, like I said, there's a million things we can do, and just be thoughtful, educate yourself from a business perspective, keep moving forward, keeping a positive attitude. Mindset is everything. The better and more clear our mindset is, the more positive our mindset is, the better decisions we're going to make. As soon as we start going to a negative side, that's when we make poor decisions. So you definitely don't want to go down that path. And if you're in a situation where you are getting a little depressed or feeling down, reach out to someone and talk to them. I mean, we're all human. We all go down that path, every one of us. And if I'm having a downtime or having a day that just sucks, I get on the phone and call people to get me out of that. One of the other things that I do every day is I'm on the phone with a lot of different people in different areas of real estate, finding out what's going on. I'm keeping myself educated the best I can about what's going on in the lending industry, what's going on at the title companies. There's all kinds of craziness that comes out on the news, and that most of it is not true, but people are going, believe everything they see, because everything's true that's on Google, I guess. But reach out to people, don't be afraid to ask for help, no matter how small it is. That's kind of what I think, that's what we're doing. And that's what I think, people should do to help keep them in a positive mood and just keep that positive mindset. This will end. We will get through this. And just, keep striving for that day that we're there and we're somewhat back to normal.
There you go. Well, I appreciate that, because your thoughts are much like mine. Gabe, what are you doing to make the best of your time during this downturn? What's your suggestion?
Guys, mine's a lot of just exactly what everyone else says. As we're talking now, I'm working on some. Listening to you guys, I'm double tapping everything I can, guys. I like to hang out with my family. Most of you guys know. Steve and AC, I've been with them since the beginning of our career, really helping them helping me and me helping them. And what Steve said is really huge on mindset. If you have a mindset issue right now, it can hurt you. It can hurt you big time and with your family and stuff. So get outside, get some sunlight, do those other things. Steve, you're going to love this, dude. So we've been fishing, bro. All right. I'm not doing any offshore fishing or anything, but I'm not even a good fisherman. But okay. So I go and I actually went to Academy the other day to buy some more because, I don't know how to fish well, but I know that catfish like to hang on at the bottom and you just throw it out there and eventually you'll get something. So the other day, and we picked up 9 in a day and they think I'm a hero. So, hey, that works for me. They think I'm good. And we just go from there. So we just been trying to find different stuff. Now, most of you guys know, I think besides AC, we pretty much have a young family. So we try to figure out as much as possible what to do. We have school during the day, which is way different than some other stuff. School during the day will change your schedule. So that's been big. We've had so many family conversations, more than ever before, of, hey, this is how our family works. I don't know if you remember, but this is how it works. So we've been doing stuff like that, and mindset's key. So there's another coach that I run into. He's a good friend of mine. He doesn't do anything in real estate but all business. And guys, check this out. This is for us to understand, because we really need to grab that and put it into our own lives. I said, hey, what are you seeing happening within your students? And he works for a bigger group. They have 800 students on a monthly basis they have to follow up with. And he's like, dude, it's day and night. He's been working with most of them are like AC companies, not real estate, AC and heat, plumbing companies. They help those type of companies. AC, you probably attest to this. So he says, this is day and night. You have one company who's going through doom and gloom. They're putting their head in the sand. He's like, dude, this is horrible. I can't get into houses. I can't do any AC stuff. People don't want me in there. And he's approaching it from that perspective, and it's looking rough. The other guy is in the same exact neighborhood, the same exact city, outside of Houston, not in the Houston area, but same exact city. He's like, dude, we're having the time of our lives. We're protecting ourselves. We're doing these other things. We're taking this protocol. We're doing this other stuff. But man, we have been blowing and going. The phone is not stopped ringing. This is what we're doing, and we're just tackling it head on. And it's a big shift for us to realize that if we do not have a perspective in our minds to say, I need to get my mindset right, call somebody else, watch some awesome videos. YouTube's so free. There's so many good stuff. Rep yourself up in the morning. I know Steve has his affirmation he looks at every morning. I know AC does, of just, this is what my life is about, and this is how to move forward. Again, my plan wasn't to go, like when I say fishing, I'm saying a full day of work and then trying to figure out what to do with these kids. They've been cooped up all day. Guys, let's go after work. Let's go fishing and we're not, some days we're not doing stuff, but the whole idea is you have to grab perspective right now of why you're doing your business. Why is this, what's the point of all of this, of making this happen? So guys, it's a tough situation right now. but I am excited because I feel like we got prepped up. Steve knows this. Beginning of this year, we got hammered with so many weird stuff that happened. But man, I feel like we were prepped up, ready to help so many people, help other investors, and then just really help our family go through this whole season and help other people go through the season. So this is something to be excited of. And if you're not excited about this, then I'm not saying lock it up. I'm saying find some avenue, whatever it may be, to start shifting that mindset towards more growth mentality. It's huge right now. And I honestly, for you guys, for everybody on here, we don't have to tell each other, hey, you need to make sure you have a growth mindset to do this. We already know. But I think that what happens is because we might be not connecting with many people, maybe not on the phone as much as we should, or just out there at networking events and being reminded, we might just get stuck up in here. And that's the bad place to be if you're always stuck in your head. You got to be able to just keep on pushing forward. This is a great opportunity. And just talking to Steve the other day, it's like, okay, there's opportunity here. We see stuff to move forward. And even if there's nothing going on in your table, you still have to see it as this is a great opportunity.
Excellent, excellent advice. AC, I know you got the new babies keeping you busy, but that's just part of your lifestyle. What are you doing, and what do you think people need to do during this time to make the best of this downtime?
You know, I mean, obviously everybody's talking about mindset. It's very big. So like, and I'm definitely stressing that. With obviously we're doing a lot more virtual videos. You know, it's weird. I feel like I'm working more now than I was when I had the office and was always at the office.
I relate.
I'm listening. Yeah, yeah. I didn't work much anyway, but it's I'm doing a lot of videos, interviewing people. I had Steve on, Gabe and Steve were both on the radio show not too long ago. We were talking about, you know, I'm just like networking this way, you know, and a lot more virtual stuff and getting videos out, but especially with our students, you know, like weekly, I am on trainings with them and talking just about that. Like you have to be positive. You have to keep your spirits up. You have to keep positive about everything that's going on. Get rid of you can't get rid of sometimes family because some of the negative people were around, and get rid of all of them. But avoid as much negativity as you can, right? And keep taking positive actions, right? And getting out, man, like Steve, like, you know, I mean, I don't mind being at home because we got the 2.5-month-old baby, our first girl, and then we have a 7, 8, 10-year-old and a 14-year-old boys. We have technically 5 boys and 1 girl, and a lot of them are younger. So we have a lot going on, school and stuff during the day. Ceci's mostly a teacher during the day. And but after they're done with their school, we've been going for walks around the neighborhood, riding bikes around the neighborhood. Before this interview here, before this panel, I actually I got Audible. I'm a terrible reader, you know. I mean, that's that 8th grade education for you. But I'm terrible at reading. But Audible, I mean, we have so much technology that you can occupy yourself with something positive. Don't watch the Kardashians all day. You know what I mean? Because and nothing wrong with the Kardashians, you know, a little entertainment to distract you is fine. Tiger King is awesome, you know, but fuel your mind, right? I was reading a book called Tapping the Source. I've actually listened to the whole book. I went walking for an hour and a half and riding bikes. Like I went and walked for a while, came back, got the bike, rode for a while. But that whole time I listened to that Audible book of Tapping the Source, which is also about positive thinking and stuff like that. So educate yourself with the right stuff, and keep a positive attitude, and don't stop moving forward with action. You know, like I tell the students all the time, this, I think Gabe was talking about it, about, you know, we're all, and then even Brant, ramping up our marketing. You know, you may not be ramping it up. You may be just starting, but do something, because if you don't do something, nothing is going to continue to happen for you.
Excellent.
You know, I mean, you're going to keep having the same results. Nothing is going to be that, just like you had nothing going on before. If you don't take any actions that are different and you're not doing anything steps forward, you're still going to have nothing.
Well, definitely positive attitude, keeping your activity, learning, education. You know, you're never too old to learn. You're never too You have to be active, and luckily all of us have some good families, and we're out doing things and enjoying life, and that's a good big part of it. What are we getting into real estate for? Lifestyle, guys. We just at a different time and different time of life right now. Fabian, I know that you work with a lot of people, and I'm sure the family's important. Give us an idea of what you think we can do the best use of the time during this downtime. What would you advise? What are you doing?
I think first of all, taking care of yourself is like when you're in an airplane, you get your mask first, be sufficiently good to help others. Family time. I think my parents are in Colombia, but I do a lot of like video calling with them, hanging out with my brother here in Houston, calling my friends sometimes to just see how they're doing, or just to listen to advice. I think the more we create allies as well, this is a time where you're not gonna do it by yourself. If you have like partners, lenders, people who already been through this times, this is the best time to connect with people like that. What else? Cutting my own hair.
Yeah, can't find a barber now. You know that doesn't work.
Yeah. Learning how to use technology. I think that's a must in this environment nowadays. I feel like I'm already prepared. I already use a lot of technology. Like I bought houses while I was in Colombia just by looking at them through video. I think some of you guys have a little more risk in this business to going out and getting this thing, catch this. So sending people to do this, you don't want to do like the delegating. That's what I mean. Like delegating will be a must in this business, especially if you want to like protect yourself and not be out. And what else? Meditating, fitness, doing something to keep you mobile, moving. What I meant. Because if you stay home doing nothing or just sitting and working, sitting, then you're not gonna be as efficient. So that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to like go to parks, do yoga, stuff like that. Keep my mind clear for the opportunities. And well, if I forgot to say, if anyone wants to follow me on Instagram, Fabian Toledo with the X at the end, or in Facebook, or if you want to join Hbcreia, well, this is a good time to do that.
There you go. I think it's something important. A lot of people don't understand. With a little bit of lax time, there's a lot of self-improvement that we can do with ourselves. Exercise. You talk about yoga. These are the things that really can help you mentally stay positive. I think it's a good thing to do. Rick, I know
there's a phrase I heard. Even turkeys fly in hurricanes. So if you were used to do well in this market, which most people did, this is a different story. So you better learn strategies, like most of you were saying. Learn from Audible. YouTube Premium is the best investment you can do. Like listen to affirmations at night, listen to something positive in the morning, listen to something educational in the afternoon. Like there's just so much value in YouTube that you don't really have to do anything else besides that as far as education.
Yeah, I think the outcome of all this, of what's happening in the world now, it's a new world for us. It's a new way to look at life and look at business, and we'll get a lot of positives out of what we're doing now. Rick, same thing. What do you suggest the best use of your time during this downturn?
You know, I think it's multiple things. The guys have said it, and they hit it on the head. Having a positive mindset right now is so important that it's probably the main thing. You know, keep positive. Secondly, I might suggest, guys, really look. You get up every day, get showered. You know, comb your hair if you have it. Just saying. I'm not saying anything, Steve.
My hair is growing, man.
A lot of us don't have a lot of hair, okay?
Well, all right, get dressed. you know, and I don't mean just putting on the stretchy pants, okay? Because look, and I'll put on those stretchy pants. You know, the other thing tends to happen. When you get back in regular pants, they ain't gonna button. You know, so get dressed, get yourself prepared, actually get to work. Any more sitting around watching, you know, that was it Tiger King? Is that the one? I've
heard a lot about that. I haven't seen it.
I have refused because so many people are going, it's incredible.
It's a train wreck, but it's awesome. It's actually, it was pretty entertaining. I didn't even notice, but Ceci watched it before me, and we've been to that zoo before. We played with the tiger cubs there.
Oh, geez. No, I'm sorry. I just, you know, but just get up, active, get yourself prepared, and move forward. Don't stay stagnant. Learn what you can. There's a lot of places to learn. There is a panel of guys right in front of you right now that can answer probably 90% of what you would ever think about asking in the real estate market. Right here, right in front of you. And I think before we leave, what I'd like everybody to do is tell everyone out there, give them a way to get in touch with you. Email, you know, whatever it is, give them a way to get in touch with you. So that if anybody out there has a question and doesn't feel comfortable, you know, spouting it in the chat boxes here, to be able to have a way to ask. And look, guys, I'll be the first to tell you, I don't know everything there is to know in real estate. I've learned a lot, but I'm still learning. I work every day and talk to people every day, and it's amazing. You know, every day I learn something I didn't know, or I thought I knew, but now I have a new perspective on it. You know, so guys, that's all there is to it. I mean, really, just get up and get moving. Other than that, learn as much as you can. Get with like-minded people. If you feel like you're stuck at home and you're by yourself, there is so much to virtual networking going on right now. If you get on Facebook and if you just type in Houston real estate or Houston real estate investing or real estate investing, any of those type of you know, key searches in Facebook, you'll find a lot of people out there that are doing the same thing you want to do or are doing now. And everybody has an idea of what they think. So you get there and start talking about it. Don't feel like you're alone. You know, get in groups and things of that nature. But main thing is just really just get up, get moving, move forward. That's all I got to say on it.
Before we wrap it up, I want to really thank everybody personally for joining us today. I think that this is a wealth of knowledge for the people that see it. It is recorded. It's going to be playing a couple times. Definitely appreciate everybody's input, and I'm impressed with what we have to offer. And I think students and people learning and people that even experienced investors can gain a lot of knowledge from what we did. But before we go, let's do what Rick suggested. We need to know how to get a hold of everybody. Mr. V. Hill with Wealth Club, why don't you start off and throw a little ad out there?
Sure. Hey guys, for everybody that would like to get a hold of us at the Wealth Club or get a hold of me, you can go to our website, thewealthclub.org. You can also email us at support@thewealthclub.org. You can call our office, 713-644-3500. And if you really need to, if you want to reach out to me personally, I'm going to give you my cell phone, and you can call me at 713-562-5252. I hope we've helped in any way for anybody out there, and look forward to anybody calling, and we'll love to help as best I can.
Gabe, you have a few minutes. Would like you to also do the same thing.
Yeah, for sure, guys. You've probably seen this on Facebook. So you can go to Vertical House Buyers. That's our main buying company. Or you could go to North Houston Real Estate Investors. So Facebook / North Houston REI. You can contact me and get more information about what we do. 713-894-4272.
All right. Oh, and I forgot to add, you guys can go and like us on Facebook. We do have a Facebook page, and that'll take you to all the different social media things that we do.
Very good. AC, you've got a lot of presence, so let everybody know how to get you.
Well, you can find us, our website is prosperitygroup.com. You can find me on Facebook at AC Ramos. My friends, I think, are full, but you can follow me, or you can follow us on Instagram. My Instagram is AC_Ramos. Email us, it's @prosperitygroup.com. If you, need to reach out to me personally, my cell phone number is 216-2174. And that's about it.
Fabian, also, how can people get a hold of you if they got questions?
They can go to my webpage, latinosinrealestate.com. If you are an agent and interested in joining our team, expfabian.com, or you can call me 832-844-3000. Facebook, Fabian Toledo X with the X. Instagram, same, Fabian Toledo X. What else? TikTok. No, just kidding. Tinder.
I'll have multiple ways. Rick, before we leave, can you give everybody the information to how to get a hold of Russ Corp and Hbcreia? And after we leave, I've got just a couple things I want to announce for upcoming for Russ Corp and our site. But go ahead, Rick.
Yeah, so to get us, there's pretty much like everybody else. If you want to go to our webpage, it's hbcreia.com. That's the Houston Buyers Club webpage. You can, put information there, ask us questions there. Please feel free to send us an email at info@hbcreia.com. And it's HBCREIA, just like it sounds, .com. You can call me anytime you want to at 713-515-0308, or text me at the same number. I'll be glad to answer anything that you come up with. You can also email us if you forget that one. We'll do a long one. It's info@russcorprealty.com. I like info at HBCREIA. It's much faster to type. If you want to call us at the office, 281-890-1004. And that's pretty much it.
And lately we've been virtual and not at the office, so go from there. Well, again, I want to thank everybody for participating. I'm going to take a few minutes and just announce some of the things that we've got going. Definitely, I encourage everybody that sees this meeting to visit everybody's website that's been talking. We've all got a lot of special things we do on the internet. You definitely can get educated, and definitely we'll have some great mentors and great people to follow and make you successful. Again, thank you very much, guys.
Well, thank you for the invitation.
Thank you, guys. Really appreciate it. It's a lot of fun.
What?
Hey, yeah, fun's part of it, right?
That's right.
Well, I want to announce just a couple of things. Russ Corp and Hbcreia. Oh, we got the baby. That's cute.
Now we got the prettiest person on the
That's right.
Facebook.
She woke up.
Russ Corp Education and Training is going to be doing some training session. We'll start announcing it on the internet. Free training. We're going to do it every week. It's part of our coaching program. So stay tuned and we'll get some information of that out to you. Also want to, we talked about money. One of the things we're doing real heavy right now is helping people get capital to invest and capital to spend for their lines of credit, term loans, everything like that, because everybody needs money. We've talked about it. Save your money, get your money. We've got some great programs. You can get with us at Rick's, what Rick said, and you can call us at 281-890-1004, or you can get us, you can call me directly at 281-414-0449. Walk you through some of the programs. And last and not least, our real company started again running a listing service for investors. It's a discounted listing service. It's a 1% listing, and it's built specially for investors and mostly only for investors. So we got some new things we want to walk everybody through, and just again thank everybody. And we'll have a meeting next month. We'll announce what it's about. Hopefully we'll be live, but if not, we'll be virtual. This has been fun. And AC, you're just stealing the show down there.
And AC, I can only say one thing, brother. I am so glad she looks like Sussy.
Me too.
Well, since we're the only ones left, anybody got anything to say? If not, this is a tape.
She said you're making fun of her.
She's beautiful. I'm just saying that.
I remember that later.
On cue. Oh, there you go.
Oh.
To mama.
Of course.
All right, guys, that's a wrap. We really appreciate you guys.
All right, thanks, guys. I appreciate it. It was a lot of fun.
Good. We'll do it again soon. And
Bye, Facebook.
I've watched a radio show once. I liked it. It's late at night.
Yeah, well, we try to stream it, and I put it out on Facebook and stuff for people during the day because it's prime time. It's at night, between 9 and 11 is the gaps we got, and we're on at 10 on Wednesdays. So yeah.
Well, I'm up. Rick's up.
All right.
Okay.
All right, guys. Bye.
Talk to you later.
Late.